The door burst open. An entire squad of royal guards poured into the bedroom of a 3-year-old child. Orders from the head of the house. The young lady is to be moved to the annex. What is there about that girl worth carrying? She is the bastard child of the woman who betrayed the Duke. 1 year ago, I opened my eyes and remembered everything. I had died once and been reborn inside the world of this novel. Inuk was gasping for breath, his voice breaking. Ginny, Ginny, please. What is it, Inuk? Tears welled in his eyes. Can't we rest for just 5 minutes? Ginny's face went blank as she refused outright. No. Ahania does not cry. Understood? I wasn't crying. Then swing that wooden sword 100 more times for me. Inuk dragged himself back, muttering. Training, Ginny snapped. You call that a shout? A mosquito is louder. Inuk emptied his lungs. Train-ing! Looking at her 2 scrawny older brothers, Ginny could only sigh. I wonder when those 2 will ever grow up. But if I don't push them, this house will be wiped out. Hensi pushed the door open. My lord, there is bad news. Inside, Arthur was rocking Ginny in his arms. Word has come that the madam's ship capsized in the strait. The teddy bear in his hand dropped to the floor. What is the situation now? I need to know more. If this is true, I cannot sit still. Ginny looked up. The strait, a capsized ship, my mother. This is the first time I've faced anything like this. So why does it feel so familiar? She opened her mouth. Father. Arthur frowned and turned to her. Ginny. Everything will be all right. Noel will come back to us. Noel, that is my mother's name. Now that I think about it, what is my father's name? A tiny hand touched his cheek. He laughed bitterly. Are you comforting me? Hensi continued. My lord, to speak plainly. The Sentoa pirates were targeting the Empress this time, not the madam. Arthur's brow darkened. The Empress insisted on sailing with Noel, and now this. This is not the time to lay blame. The Empress has a small daughter, too. A bolt of lightning cut through Ginny's mind. Inet. The moment I heard that name, everything blurred in my head snapped into focus. The memories came flooding back. Ginny stared, stunned, at the man before her. Arthur, my father's name is Arthur. He froze. So you can finally say my name. And of all moments, now. That's right, I am Arthur. The little girl let out a breath and sank to her knees. I really do remember, Ginny, what's wrong? Not just my father's name. I remembered the entire world I'm living in. Arthur de Hanya, the novel I read in my past life, a duchess's rosy life. My father was nothing but a second-rate villain, disposed of in the opening chapters. And me? I'm not even a character. I'm the daughter of a minor villain, a girl who never got so much as a single line. In my past life, I also lived like a protagonist, an orphan taken in and delivered into the Empire's secret organization. I believed that one day a family would take me in and love me. I thought I could live an ordinary life. And then I understood. That foster father sold me out. I died alone in the cold. For 3 years, without a single memory, I lived happily as the youngest daughter of a duke's house. If my memory is correct, Ginny of House Hanya dies of an incurable illness at 19. And not only me. She glanced at her father. He was instructing a servant. Ginny's health is poor. Look after her more carefully. Yes, Your Grace. At this rate, every last member of House Hanya dies. I will not let this life repeat the last one. I'm only a bit player, and yet my father loved me with everything he had. I remember it all now. So that novel does not get to run exactly as it was written. I have 2 goals before me. 1, survive. 2, at any cost, every member of House Hanya survives. She threw open the library doors. Her 2 brothers were slumped over their desks. Inuk, Senate, I have to save these 2. I talked big about not letting things unfold the way the book says. But for 3 years, I lived as an actual child, and I don't have a single plan in hand. Inuk saw her standing there in a daze. Ginny, what's wrong? Does something hurt? She looked up at the boy with hair soft as dripping honey. So I really was reborn as a human being. Her second brother stepped over, no less striking. Senate asked, worried, is it your stomach? Ginny folded her arms and sighed. Looking at 2 faces that couldn't possibly exist, I finally believe this is the world of a novel. If these 2 were the protagonists, they'd have noticed at once that I'd fallen into a story. But I live apart from the plot. In the original, I'm just a background name who quietly vanishes from the house. Senate pressed his forehead to hers. Looks like your fever's gone. Her face went cold. I live quietly. I live decently. And yet, just for being a background name, I have to die? The sword instructor appeared. Inuk, Senet, it's time. Inuk answered politely. Yes, Master Baita. Inuk stroked her cheek. Ginny, if anything hurts, you tell me. I'll be right back. I'm so worried about you, I probably won't be able to concentrate today. Ginny made a face, as if you aren't just looking for an excuse to skip. Then she said, Go on. Inuk suddenly kissed her cheek. Don't get sick again, Ginny. She flinched. You don't get to just decide these things. How embarrassing. I have an adult's memories in my head, which only makes it worse. Was it simply normal that nobody in my past life ever treated me like this? Senet appeared behind her. Ginny. You seem different today. Did something? He didn't get to finish. Senet, get over here at once. Senet had to go. Sorry, sir. Ginny waved him off, thinking, I'm sorry, I can't tell you yet. Telling children won't accomplish anything. But it's still better than sitting still. First, I need to lay out where things stand. She ran to the desk and grabbed paper and colored pencils. If I write in Korean, nobody here can read it. First. My name is Ginny Dahanya, only daughter of House Hanya, 3 years old. Fate, dies of an incurable illness at 19. Father, Arthur Dahanya, Duke of the Ulin Empire, right hand of the Emperor. At least for now. Mother, Duchess Noel, the Empire's only female admiral. Right after giving birth to me, she sailed with the Empress, her childhood friend. 3 years later, she vanished at the hands of pirates. Come to think of it, that rumor spread the moment she disappeared. Among the children of House Hanya, one carries royal blood. The prophecy had barely been handed down when word spread that Noel had lain with someone of the royal family and that the prophecy itself was the proof. Losing his wife wasn't enough. Arthur also had to hear that she had betrayed him. And Arthur, believing Ginny to be that bastard child, slowly turned his back on her. In the previous owner's memory, an old figure surfaced. Father. Even so, he never betrayed the crown. What drove him to treason was Ginny's death. That is mine. Because the elixir, the only cure for my illness, goes to Inat, the heroine who suffers from the very same disease. Arthur commits treason over the death of the daughter he himself abandoned. It sounds contradictory, but that is who he is. He never truly cast out the child born of betrayal, and after Ginny died, he lived in guilt to the end of his days. The original never says it outright, but Ginny really is the bastard. Because apart from her, every one of the siblings is the image of Arthur. The rumor breaks, and this whole estate turns its back on me. At that rate, I die in this life too. Whatever it takes, I have to get the elixir with my own hands. But the only man in the Empire willing to cross an endless desert and a boundless ocean night and day to find the elixir is not the male lead nor the Emperor. It's the eldest brother whose face I've never seen. The image of a man in a black hood rose in her mind. Dahao, why did my eldest brother hand the elixir to Inat instead of me? Dahao is the second male lead of the original, and Inat's suffering blinded him to the little sister dying inside his own house. Second leads are only ever good at falling in love. The more she thought, the worse her head ached. If Dahao simply gave me the elixir, everything would be simple. But that will never happen. Since I recovered my memories, my head has been splitting, as though this body is overloaded. The bedroom door swung open. My lady, it's time for your afternoon snack. 2 maids came in with a tray of pastries. Lolo stepped closer. My lady, didn't you hear us knock? Ginny hurried to hide the stack of paper. Why now of all times? She didn't hide it fast enough and was caught. What is this? Nothing. They must not see that writing. Lulu laughed. Here I thought you were learning to draw. Turns out you're just scribbling. Though even your scribbles are adorable. Ginny exhaled. Thank goodness I'm small. Whatever I do, they'll write it off as a child's game. They laid the dessert out in front of her. Please enjoy, my lady. Ginny picked up a piece of cake, and before she could bite, Lolo spoke again. Head chef Lombardi says they're short on ingredients today, so he couldn't make your special juice. I'll bring it tomorrow to make up for it. Please bear with us today. Seeing her go still, the two of them overreacted. Oh no, the young lady looks so disappointed. The chef will make it for you tomorrow without fail. That's not it. I only want to eat while I still can, before the rumor spreads, before everyone in this estate turns their back on me. That afternoon, the rain came down. Ginny sat alone watching the window. Whenever it rains, my father is always beside me. But today he did not come. Of course not. He already knows I'm the bastard child. Just like the wife who betrayed him. Thunder cracked. She flinched and dropped to her knees. Her face went pale. This is madness. I'm scared of thunder because my father isn't here. My body turned into a child, and now my mind is following. Compared to the lonely years of my past life, 3 years beside my father is hardly nothing. And already I miss that warmth. By now the rumor has run through the whole estate. Lulu, Lolo, not one person will stand with me. Her chest tightened. I'm too weak. Like this, I won't survive in this world. Pull yourself together. The only thing that matters now is the elixir. Only the elixir. And yet, the next morning Ginny opened her eyes and froze. The 2 maids were still there. Lulu, Lolo. Good morning, my lady. Oh, your just woke up face is precious. Ginny couldn't make sense of it. Why are you 2 still here? Why is everything exactly as usual? Or have they not heard the rumor? She began to speak. Lulu, Lolo. Then came pounding at the door. Lolo threw herself in front of Ginny. What do you think you're doing? How dare you walk into the young lady's room? The guards looked at one another and nodded. Begin. They tore the room apart. Don't touch the young lady's things. Ginny didn't bother speaking. She climbed down from the bed herself. I knew it. Ginny gripped the hem of her dress. Because my father and I are no longer family. Once the explanation came, the 2 maids turned to each other. What? Because of that rumor? So Lulu and Lolo knew after all. The guards went on. You serve the main house. You may no longer attend the young lady. Withdraw. The 2 of them looked at her, eyes red. My lady. So the story runs exactly as it did before. Ginny is pushed out of the main house. It's fine. I saw this coming. Wind moved through the trees. The guards hauled her belongings and warned her. The rain has softened the ground. Watch your step, my lady. A 3-year-old body dragged itself down a road far too long for it. Seeing how pale she'd gone, one of them spoke. Hey, let's stop a moment. The young lady is exhausted. Someone should carry her. You actually believe that prophecy? That annex is no different from a prison? Ginny walked behind them, laughing inside until it hurt. These people don't hold back a single word in front of a child. If they'd been my subordinates in my past life, I'd have made them regret it. Hey, do you feel that chill, you too? Has the weather turned? At last they arrived. Ginny was breathing hard. My legs are killing me. Surviving in a child's body is genuinely hard. A long-haired guard stepped up. Lady Zoner will carry the luggage in and head back. Ginny looked up. So that's Zoner? The woman's voice was ice. I'll handle the rest. So you've arrived, my lady. Ginny's face went just as cold. The governess, Zoner. I really don't know. Should I still be calling you my lady the way I used to? Ginny stepped inside. Unlike the main house, nobody had cared for this place in a long time. My days of cold leftovers have officially begun. Not that I'll be here long. The Emperor will soon rule that I am the bastard among House Hanya's children. She trailed after Zoner. And on that day, they'll summon me to the palace, terrified that word of tainted royal blood might get out. Hearing the labored breathing and dragging footsteps behind her, Zoner spun around. Can't you walk any faster? I'm a very busy woman. I'm not like certain people who had all the time in the world to wander wherever they pleased. Ginny's mouth fell open. What did she just say? Endure it. I have to endure it. The servants of House Hanya are loyal to Arthur to the point of fanaticism. They will never accept a bastard child, and yet, this woman's feelings toward Arthur. Are they really loyalty? Zoner pushed a door open. You'll take this room. The room was no better than an abandoned storeroom, filthy and rotting. If you have questions, ask me. Ginny raised an eyebrow. Then I'll ask. Who exactly had all the time in the world to wander wherever she pleased? Zoner laughed. Who else could it be? The late madam, that loose woman who is no longer with us. And the product of that filthy affair is standing right here. It's you, my lady. Ginny's blood boiled. What is wrong with the servants of this house? Not one of them holds their tongue in front of a child. Zoner suddenly shrieked, her face scarlet. That filthy woman. How dare she betray my beloved master? Her ship going down was exactly what she deserved. Had it been me, I'd have held my place at the master's side and never let go. My poor master. Ginny had no words. I don't even remember my mother's face. But does a dead woman deserve to be humiliated like this? The little girl spoke, her voice flat. Why don't you wake up from your dream? My father has never once looked your way. Zoner's face fell. Father? What are you talking about? You share no blood with the master at all. Zoner's eyes went wide. Wait a moment. Then came a scream loud enough to stop the guards out in the yard. What was that? Let's head back to the annex and check. Zoner was still screaming because Ginny had seized her hair with two tiny fists. Let go! Let go of me right now! What kind of child is this strong? Shaking with rage, Zoner raised her hand. You little brat! But when she saw the girl's face, she stopped. What child doesn't blink even once in a situation like this? The guards rushed in. What's going on here? Zoner fell silent. It's nothing. The young lady Ginny is simply not used to her new surroundings yet. Ginny crossed her arms, seething. Nicely put. My family can hate me, the servants can resent me. Fine, but I will not be looked down on. With that, she ran over to one of the guards and grabbed hold of his coat. Then she turned up a pair of glistening eyes. Ginny is just hungry. Playing the pitiful child costs me nothing. Though I really am hungry. It's been a while since I used any strength. The guards turned to Zoner with a look that said, You've gone too far. Zoner sighed. Then she walked off. Wait here a moment. Ginny watched her go, so she does feel shame in front of a 3-year-old. You find people like her everywhere. She looked down at her own 2 hands. This child's body pulled someone's hair that hard? Ginny's body. I may be carrying no small amount of mana. If so, I still have a way to survive. If I follow the original, can I actually use mana? I need to find more options. Suddenly, there were footsteps in the corridor. Who is it? Nobody comes to see me anymore. Is Zoner back for revenge? The door creaked open. Ginny froze. It was head chef Lombardi. He smiled gently. Oh, my lady, you remember the name of someone like me? Ginny brightened. But what brings you all the way here? He held out his hands. I've brought your juice, my lady. I heard you were disappointed yesterday because there was no fruit juice. It broke my heart. I couldn't sleep. He came all this way just for that? Thank you. Then a familiar voice cut in. Hold on. What exactly are you giving Ginny? The chef went white. I'm sorry. Ginny blinked. What is he doing here? Young Master Senate. Did you hear the rumor and come running too? Senate put his hands on his hips. I asked what you're giving Ginny. The old man trembled. Young master, that is, Ginny cheered him on from behind. Don't be afraid of him, chef. Sanit's voice hardened. Answer me properly, Chef Lombardi. He bowed low. Juice. I meant to bring the young lady some juice. Senate pressed harder. On whose orders? Did you have the master's permission? The chef's head dropped. No, sir. Ginny felt guilty on his behalf. She glared at her brother with open hostility. Are you so idle you have to come all the way out here to make trouble? Unhappy that someone still bothers to look after the bastard child? Then she spoke up. Ginny won't drink it. Take it back. That's not it, my lady. The bottle slipped and fell. Ginny. The chef panicked. Oh, my lady, are you hurt? Are you injured anywhere? A shard of glass struck Ginny's leg. Blood welled up. It's only a scratch. Before she could finish, her brother swept her up. Lombardi, run to the main house and bring the physician here at once. Hurry! The old man scrambled off. Yes, young master. Senate's voice softened completely. Does it hurt, Ginny? Her face went red. All this fuss over one scratch. A moment ago, he was scolding a man over a bottle of juice. Watching his face soften, she was confused. I still can't read what he's thinking. Didn't he come here because he had something to say to me? Senate isn't affectionate like Inuk, so he's bad at showing it. But I can feel that he treasures me. Because I'm his little sister. But not anymore. Senate spoke. Does it hurt badly, Ginny? If you don't mind, let me look at the wound. But before his hand could reach it, the little girl pushed him away. Get away from me. He froze. What? She pressed her lips together. I have to cut this feeling off starting now. It's better for my future. Ginny spoke firm. I said, get away from me. Senit's face crumpled. Get away? You're saying that to me? That's right. Why? I won't repeat my mistake from last time. It's late, but from now on, it stops. Otherwise, I'll start dreaming an impossible dream all over again. The dream of having a family. When she didn't answer, he called again. Ginny, don't call me. Why? Because Senate is not Ginny's brother. Senate went rigid. At that flat rejection from the little sister he had tended so faithfully. His voice shook. Ginny, what do you mean? Why have you turned so cold all of a sudden? A wave of freezing air rolled through the room. Ginny understood. He's using magic on a child? Senate was furious. Answer me. Ginny. She could only smile stiffly. I can't answer. My mouth has frozen shut. Brother, you started this. Why are you the one reacting like this now? Far sharper than anything described in the book. At this rate, I'm genuinely in danger. The cold has reached my feet. The physician arrived. Young master, what on earth is happening? Lulu ran in behind him, face crumpling. Are you all right, my lady? But Senate pushed both of them aside. Move, Lulu, I need an answer from Ginny. Ginny gave up. This man. I'm not your sister anymore, so kindly take yourself outside. Save me, Lulu, my lady. He turned back to her. Answer me. She looked down. First, stop the magic. Senate didn't hear and leaned closer. What? Ginny's temper exploded. I said I'm cold. Sanit's face drained of color. When did I start using magic? Ginny thought. Is it the cold? I feel so dizzy all of a sudden. She collapsed right in front of them. Senate, you just wait. I'm telling father. Then she remembered. Except I don't have a father anymore. Sometime later, Ginny drifted awake. Where am I? Arthur was sitting beside her. Ginny, you're awake? Father. Why is father at the annex? Could he actually have been worried about me? She answered, yes. Then she let out one enormous sneeze. Oh no, I'm sorry. He patted her shoulder. It's all right. Spotting his son lurking behind the curtain, he sighed. Sanit. I can see you standing there. Ginny turned. How long has he been there? Senate. Don't you have something you want to say to Ginny? The boy stayed silent for a long moment. Arthur had to call again. Senate. His voice sounded close to tears. Since dawn there were strange rumors and she was moved to the annex. And yet Ginny was fine without me. That's what hurt. Then he said it. I'm sorry, Ginny. But she turned her face away. Am I supposed to forgive because you feel bad? I died and came back. She answered her brother. I don't want to speak to Senate. Arthur tried to mediate. Ginny, Senate was wrong to use mana on you, but brushing off your brother's apology like that is also wrong. Ginny thought, blood runs thicker, so father takes the side of the brat who never even asked permission. I know perfectly well I'm no sibling of his. Him coming to the annex was pity, nothing more. Then Ginny sneezed again. Not once, but 3 times in a row, and he panicked. Ginny. She looked up at him. This is bad. She smoothed her skirt. That's right. Then she looked over at her brother, whose face was a picture of misery. He didn't attack me on purpose. Controlling mana isn't easy even for veterans. After weighing it, she decided, all right. I forgive you. Senate's whole face relaxed. Ginny. Thank you for forgiving me. Ginny was astonished. One word of forgiveness makes him this happy? The men of House Hanya really are soft. The next day, I forgave Senate and sent him back to the main house. But after several days, flat on my back, the pain still hadn't gone. Forgive my foot. This is unforgivable. It hurts so much, damn it. In this world, those who carry mana are called soul knights. Their mana takes on the property of one of the 4 seasons. Even mastering a single season requires extraordinary talent. Ginny is a winter, born with the property of that season. A single passing touch of a winter's aura is enough to freeze both earth and men. This frail little body can't withstand it. Lulu appeared. Is there anything else you need, my lady? Ginny forced out a question. Lulu, are you all right being here? She pulled the blanket up over Ginny. The master gave permission. Don't worry about it, Ginny thought. So Arthur has changed after all. Lulu laid a hand on her forehead. You've taken your medicine, you'll be asleep soon. Ginny felt the warmth of that hand. It's only for a moment that my heart goes soft. Because I have always been weak. If my father still counts me as family. Before she drifted off, Ginny told herself, don't get confused. A familiar voice called out, Ginny, are you all right? She opened her eyes blearily. Inuk. He was overjoyed. You're finally awake. You slept 2 whole days. Ginny was stunned. What? That long? But why are you here? Isn't this your training time? He climbed onto the bed. I couldn't focus, so I came over. Because I was worried about you, really. Her face went blank. Inuk went on, You don't believe me? He pinched her nose gently. It's true. I really was worried. Ginny raised an eyebrow. Worried enough to skip training? And he isn't even my brother. What a waste of time. She yelped, Ow! Then she launched into him with both fists. Let go. I said it hurts. He clutched his face. Ow, you're big enough to hit your brother now? Ginny, when you were tiny and couldn't talk, you followed me around all day begging to be carried. Don't you remember? I did not. Liar. It's true. She stammered. Why? Why did you say that to him? Inuk answered. He's your brother. Why would you say something like that? Ginny went quiet. Because I have to cut the feeling off. But I can't say that out loud. I already told you. Sennet is not Ginny's brother. Inuk asked back. Why wouldn't he be? Then what about me? She opened her mouth, Inuk, then stopped. Hold on. What if this one is the same? He wouldn't react like Sennet, would he? I still haven't recovered. Afraid he'd pull the same trick, Ginny changed course. Of course Inuk is Ginny's brother. Inuk beamed. Really? Then he waved cheerfully. Well then, I'm off to training. Ginny had no words. A second ago, he was too worried to train. See you later, Ginny. Alone again, Ginny tried to organize her thoughts. Inuk is a minor character. All I remember is the scene where he and father are killed by the Emperor. But it feels like he had some other role. The more she thought, the more tangled it got. She tore at her hair. Why can't I remember? If only I had more information about the original. Isn't there some kind of appendix? Gods above. A blinding light flared. Thud. Something dropped straight onto her head. Ow, what was that? Ginny looked down at her feet. That thing. Could this be the original text of a duchess's rosy life? Prayers actually work? Thank the heavens. I need to check it right now. She read the words on the page. The Sentoa pirates have sent a letter along with the Empress's severed head. The infant burst into tears. What was the infant's name? Inette. A name she knew far too well. The heroine, however I look at it, this is the original. What is going on here? A moment ago I wished for the original, and it fell into my lap. Does the sky simply grant what I ask for? Treasure, eternal youth, unbeatable power. Hearing the noise upstairs, Zoner looked up. What is she doing up there? In her room, Ginny was struggling to summon magic. It didn't seem to be working. She looked down at the book by her feet. The Emperor's voice was cold. Confine the princess to the palace. Any who object lose their heads. Ginny cursed as she read. What is this? The lunatic. No wonder he raised a child into a tyrant. Turning his back on his wife's corpse and the infant in its box, he walked away, never knowing she had been pregnant. The Emperor only wanted his loss buried. And... what? Her eyes went round as she turned the page. She rubbed her small hand over the paper. Why is it suddenly blank? Wait. The letters are appearing? Inette did not know who her father was, and had never seen the Emperor's face. She had been taken to an abandoned palace where no one would find her, and Inette became aware of her own existence at the age of 2. The little thing laughed. I'll have to lure Ginny here. If I want a comfortable childhood in this weak body, I need to drain every drop of her mana. She looked up at the ceiling with a face full of calculation. The prophecy has been handed down, and Ginny has been pushed into the annex by now. I spread that rumor myself, after all. I don't want to be sick like last time. Come to me now, my Mana. Ginny read it and understood nothing. Mana. What is this? What is happening here? The heroine Inette is a regressor? This is insane. And she's after my enormous store of mana, too. I never read this part. This book is being written in step with the story as it unfolds. Even the thoughts inside Inette's head are copied down word for word. If I walk into the palace like this, Inette can do whatever she likes with me, so whatever it takes, I have to stay in the Duke's house. I should bring something useful, shouldn't I? Nothing at all? Ginny muttered, searching for an answer. A wicked little child. That's it. The answer is right here. She hauled herself over to the main residence. A guard's voice stopped her. I'm sorry, but His Grace is not here today. Then Ginny will sit here and wait for Father. She was cut off before she finished. You may not stand in the corridor outside the office, my lady. She pouted. It was never like this before. Then she said his name. Henzi. He answered coolly. Yes, my lady. Ginny held out her hand with a bright smile. Here, have a sweet. He blinked. Why are you giving me this? She put on her most adorable face. Because Henzi works so hard for Father. Inside, she was thinking, a child can't exactly produce gold for a bribe. Cute and harmless will have to do. After a pause, he took it. Thank you, my lady. Ginny held out another. One for Father, too. Don't forget. Goodbye, Henzi. If I come back tomorrow, I'll surely catch Arthur. That was what I thought. But the next day, Henzy's face was just as flat. I'm sorry. His Grace is not here today either. And the day after that. I'm sorry. It would be best if you went home, my lady. Looking at Henzy's unbothered expression, Ginny had to leave empty-handed again. She crushed a dry twig underfoot in the garden. Any way you look at it, he's avoiding me on purpose. I meant to aim straight at the softest spot in Arthur's heart so I could stay in this house. If I can't even reach him, there's nothing left to aim at. At this rate, it's going to get awkward. Then Ginny looked down. This? I'm not his daughter anymore. He has changed. He resents me. But wasn't what he once gave me love? Strange. Right now I just want to see him smile. She finished weaving the flower crown and sprang up. There. Done. Let's try the office one more time. She trotted back toward the residence. Spirits high. With this, Father will surely agree to see me. Because with Arthur, if it comes from me, even a blade of grass delights him. Even pity would do. He came to see me when I was ill, after all. Halfway there, Ginny walked straight into a familiar figure. The impact sent her sprawling. Oh no, what did I hit? The little girl looked up, eyes wide. She called out, delighted, Father? But what he threw down at her instead was a single ice-cold line. Who is your father? You are in my way, move. Her heart skipped a beat. It hurt enough to make her cry. It's all right, he's just angry, because Noel betrayed him. She brushed off her skirt and stood. Father, no, your Grace. Ginny wants to give you this. He glanced down. Then he took the flower crown from her hand. That's right. There's nothing to worry about. Arthur only ever says that. Such a soft heart. But he dropped the crown to the ground and ground it under his heel. Right in front of the little girl. I have no idea why you're handing me garbage. Stop wasting my time. Get out. Garbage. Get out. Something strange rose in Ginny's chest at those words. However betrayed he felt, Arthur would never use words like that. This is. She shouted, Hey! Arthur turned back, irritated. Hey, what did you just call me? Ginny sprang into the air. She kicked her father's leg out from under him and he went down. The size of a bean and that kind of strength? A heavy crash rang out. Ginny spoke without a shred of deference. That's right. You. You are not my father, are you? He fell silent, eyes wide. It began 3 years ago. A voice called out, Arthur. A face identical to Ginny's, her mother. She stood there without a stitch of clothing and asked, Are you all right? He stared at the woman, dazed. Noel stared back, equally lost. What is this all of a sudden? And you've taken your clothes off. What exactly is going on here? He clutched his head. Have I been drugged? Then he spoke. Put your clothes on first. Right now. Newly forced into this body, he had not yet realized it belonged to someone else, and was furious over an act he had never committed. This woman is a scheme of Marquis L. He backed my claim to the throne so he could swap out the royal bloodline with his own daughter. He stepped down from the bed, his voice a threat. Hear me clearly, Elle. She looked at him, baffled. Even if tonight leaves you with my child, I will never acknowledge that child as mine. She stepped closer. Excuse me? He smirked. A seduction ploy? Those don't work on me. But she grabbed him by the collar and drew back her fist. One clean strike to that insufferable face. He was stunned. What? Noel's voice went cold. Who are you? My husband. You are not Arthur, are you? His face drained. From that day on, I have been trapped inside the Duke's body. Only in the moment the crescent moon rises can I move this body as I please. Back to the present. Lucas, inside Arthur's body, thought, so this is that woman's daughter. Ginny was still shouting, Who are you? You're not my father. Hey, are you listening? She kept kicking him as she shouted. She's genuinely deranged. Seeing the girl stubbornly kicking away, Lucas snapped, Will you stop that? Then he stood and dusted himself off. I will be your father. I truly am your father. Think about the prophecy. The moment I was forced into this body, your mother had likely already conceived you. My mana leaked into a new life, and the royal bastard was born. Ginny was lost, forced into, leaking mana. What are you talking about? You really are my father? Lucas frowned. In any case, I don't have time to argue with you. Move along. My time in this body is short. I must find whoever laid this curse and return to my own body. Ginny seized his coat. No. There is no way you are my father. What are you? I asked who you are. He shook his sleeve free. I told you to get lost. Do you want to die? In any case, I hate this leaking mana. I may as well take it back. With that, he aimed a hand at her. A wave of black air came down. Ginny couldn't breathe. What is this? Every ounce of strength is draining out. My vision is going. Ginny forced out one word. Father. It hurts. Then his arm suddenly dropped. Hot blood ran out. It spread all the way to where Ginny lay. He was clawing back his own consciousness by driving a knife into his own arm. And then he drove the blade straight into his stomach. Ginny panicked. Father, didn't you just come back? What are you doing? Looking at his left arm forcing the knife down, she understood. He's stabbing himself to take back his own body. She screamed, Father, don't. Father, wake up. At that moment, Henzi was passing by. That's the young lady's voice. He ran in and froze at what he saw. My lord, what are you doing? My lady, it's dangerous. Get away from him. He scooped her up with one arm and pinned Arthur with the other. The knife clattered to the floor. Arthur stood rigid, his awareness fading. Then he collapsed where he stood. Blood was spattered across the floor. Both Ginny and Henzi stood frozen. He set her down. Are you all right, my lady? I'm fine. But father. She was frantic. Henzi, get the physician now. He's losing far too much blood. He stood still for a beat, then ran. I'll be back at once. The little girl watched him go, thinking, even now I'm still worried about him. On the surface, anyone would think Arthur was ending his own life over losing Noel. If I couldn't sense mana, I would have thought the same. It isn't only the personality that changed. That dark aura just now was not my father's power. Some madman is living inside my father's body. After all, I was forced into Ginny's body myself. It should be impossible, and yet, Father will wake up, won't he? Night fell. Outside, the servants whispered. They say the master still hasn't woken. I never imagined he'd do something so extreme. Where would we be without the young lady? Ever since the rumor of the bastard spread, he had abandoned her completely. And yet a girl that kind still stayed in this house? In her room, Ginny sat curled in a dark corner, reading that strange book by lamplight. And yet, the novel is being written in real time. As long as Einat is still an infant, the plot won't move an inch. Strange things keep piling up. I need to prepare. And it happens that Ginny holds an enormous store of mana. What if I used it? If only I could look it up in the original. But Annette still has to meet her mage. And it will be a long time before she starts learning magic. By then, it's too late. I'll have to remember what I read in my past life myself. Ginny's body has an aptitude for magic. It must. No, I'll make it have one. Because already there are 2 parties hunting the mana in this body. Early the next morning, Ginny put on a fresh dress and stepped out. I have to go check on Father, she thought as she walked. I wonder if Lolo is at the main house. Then a voice came from behind. The master collapsed because of you, my lady. It was the governess. Why did you hurt the master? But Ginny couldn't even place who she was. The woman clamped down on Ginny's wrist. Oh, then she shrieked. Stop hurting the master. I can feel his pain too. Ginny grimaced. Feel it? Is she my father's soul twin or something? I can't summon the strength I had last time. Is it because that madman drained my mana yesterday? Zoner glared at her with open hostility. Now I have no other choice. Ginny blinked. What? A wicked child must be punished. The little girl stared. Then she laughed. My apologies. After the childhood I lived through, you think one switch is going to frighten me? Being looked down on made Zoner lose her head. She lunged. How dare you smirk at me like that? But her hand was caught mid-swing. Who is that? Arthur. What do you think you're doing? She went white. Master, you've finally woken. Inside, Zoner was reeling. The master put his hand on my shoulder. Arthur's eyes were ice. Are you going to answer my question or not? She pressed a hand to her chest, coy. I was teaching the young lady proper manners, my lord. Without another word, he cast a spell. Manners, you say. Seeing the aura around her father's hand, Ginny went cold. What is this? Using my father's body to raise that kind of power against an ordinary person? Zoner faltered. Master, what is this? Are you trying to teach a child things she has no need to learn at that age? Before she could finish, Master, she was blown clean out of sight. With a single flick of his fingers, Ginny's mouth fell open. Zoner is gone. This man is unpredictable. The little girl looked up, uncertain. What just happened? He spoke. A father came to see his daughter. Does that require a reason? This brutal creature is not Arthur. It's Lucas. One look at his face is enough. It does. Besides, how many times must I say that you are not my father? Who exactly are you? Power radiated off him. I concealed my mana this time. How did you know? She stepped back. Concealed or not, the air around you is different. If not me, someone else would have noticed eventually. Then she spoke. My father does not treat people this way. Is that so? Not even when a servant lays hands on his daughter? She nodded. Yes, he'd punish her instead. He answered, far too soft. That does make sense, I'll grant him that. Then she caught herself. No. I'm starting to sympathize with him. You. You came back to kill me, didn't you? You must think you can fool me again like yesterday. He looked baffled. What are you on about now? She scowled. Yesterday you tried to kill me by draining every drop of my mana. In this world, mana is life. Lucas exhaled. I had no intention of draining you until you died. What good does killing a child do me? What kind of man do you take me for? The little girl considered it. The thief who stole my father's body. Or else, the vile wretch who stole my father's body. Lucas choked. The size of a field mouse and that mouth, I really will kill you. Ginny swallowed. I never noticed before. My father's face is terrifying. Then his voice softened. Relax. On reflection, you might actually be useful. Useful? I have held this body for 3 years. I mastered it in a very short time. Not even those closest to him have sensed my presence. And yet you told me apart from the Duke, even after I erased every trace. That tiny body of yours holds a considerable amount of my mana. Ginny frowned. Your mana? If that's how you talk to your own child, then forget it. He rubbed his chin. I still haven't found the reason. But I am certain your soul carries my mana. Ginny thought, so the mana came from the Duke's body itself. Then my mother never betrayed my father. Which means Ginny, which means I am not the bastard child after all. She spoke. So who exactly are you? Why were you forced into my father's body? Lucas pressed his lips together. It isn't as though I wanted to be. Lucas Ulin, that is my name. Ginny turned it over. Ulin, I've heard that name somewhere. Ulin. Ulin. Could he be the half-brother of Emperor Zeo? Lucas clenched his fist. I was the one who won the throne. But on the eve of my coronation, I was ambushed. That wretch Zeo laid a curse on me from the shadows. When I opened my eyes, I was locked inside this body, against my will. Ginny understood. Kill every sibling, then take the throne. Standard tyrant curriculum, in that case. She spoke. Where is my father now? He pointed to his own chest. In here, intact. I cannot hold this body long. I intend to reclaim my own soon enough. Something in Ginny loosened. Thank goodness, father is safe. I thought he was never coming back. But what about the other one? Just thinking about the Emperor makes my blood rise. Then she spoke up. Lucas, what? Do you want to bring down Emperor Zeo with me? He laughed. What did you say? Emperor Zeo, tyrant today, will one day become the wonderful father of the heroine Inette. He is also the man who erases House Hanya. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, she went on. You said just now that I could be useful. You've noticed I'm no ordinary child. I know a great many things. Things you could never know. Besides, what do you lose by joining hands with me right now? He propped his chin on his hand, an offer with no risk. The Duke has no idea the man inside him is the former crown prince, and my window of movement is far too short to break the curse alone. Then he nodded. Very well. Ginny brightened. Really? Then grew suspicious. That easy? Or is he humoring me because I'm a child? That won't do. She held out her little finger. Here, will you swear it to me? Without hesitation, Lucas hooked his little finger around hers. Fine, I swear. The contract is this. You get your body back, and House Hanya becomes independent, a duchy of its own. Well? Lucas stopped short. Hold on. House Hanya independent? You're discussing secession in front of a future emperor? Ginny nodded. Yes. It's too late to back out now anyway. A magic circle lit up beneath their feet. What? The mage's oath. How do you know this rune? She smirked. Just because. I told you I'm no ordinary child. The Mage's Oath is the most frequently mentioned spell in the original. I'm not mad enough to sign a contract without collateral. If he betrays me, every drop of his mana flows to me. However, the very next day, at the regular council, Ginny stared straight at Lucas, unimpressed. He said he couldn't hold the body long. So why is he still wearing my father? Once, after I recovered my memories, I asked Arthur a question. Father. Do you love Ginny? He faltered. Well, then he took her two small hands in his. Of course I love Ginny. More than anyone in this world. Looking at how happy he was, Ginny felt warm too. Here, I never had to try to be a clever child. Or an impressive one. I don't have to earn being loved. Back to the present, the regular council of House Hanya. First of all, my condolences to His Grace. However, the head of the house need not shoulder this difficult decision alone. The one who raised the motion was Donau, palace administrator. The young lady is to be brought into the palace. Lucas was cool, in any case. He glanced at Ginny, who was signaling frantically. Say it properly. Please, father, Lucas obliged. Who would dare take my child anywhere? I have no intention of sending the young lady to the palace. Donau feigned regret. Forgive me, my lord, but by the prophecy the young lady is the daughter of the missing Prince Lucas. Without her true father, the truth cannot be hidden forever. It would be best for her to remain in the palace until the court locates His Highness. Furthermore, I hear relations between you and the young lady are poor. In other words, you yourself believe she carries royal blood. Ginny avoided his eyes. So they know everything. Lucas answered. Our relations are fine. Donau blinked. Pardon? Since the prophecy, everyone says you abandoned her. He slammed the table. When I say our relations are excellent, they are excellent. Donau swallowed his words. That is. Then thought, what is this? He's the one who threw her into the annex. Why does he look ready to eat me alive now? Lucas cut his eyes toward Ginny. She pointed at herself, confused. Me? He's looking at me? He crooked a finger at her. Ah, time to perform the loving family. Ginny walked over with her brightest smile. Did you call me, father? You called Ginny. Looking at that stone-cold face, Ginny nearly choked. You summon me and then wear that expression? How am I supposed to act off it? You're giving away that you're acting. No choice, just sit there. She sweetened her voice. Father, pick Ginny up. What she got instead was to be hoisted by the back of her collar. This lunatic. I said carry me, not haul me. Still, Ginny did not break character. So fun. Father, I love it. She even planted a kiss on his cheek. I'm a professional after all. Crack. The council table split in two. Why would you smash the table, you madman? Do you intend to hide anything at all? Calm down. The table collapsed into a heap in front of his own subordinates. Why, your grace. Henzi spoke up. What His Grace means is this. He does not wish to be parted from the young lady. Ginny was impressed. A loyal retainer indeed. Well done, Henzi. A charming father and daughter, are they not? Ginny nodded furiously. We cleared today. The council ended. We will send word by letter. Travel safely, my lords. But Donau was still full of doubt. We shall meet again soon. I hope to hear a different answer then. With that, he left. Ginny exhaled, wrapped up neatly. Acting like that must have terrified you. She said quite a lot, and Lucas said nothing at all. What? Are you looking down on me? It was one kiss. How long are you going to stay frozen? Snap out of it. I didn't do it because I wanted to. He raised an eyebrow. Ginny. She froze. Did he just call me Ginny? I didn't mishear. Then this isn't Lucas. Ginny went utterly still. Something was moving in those eyes. She couldn't hold back. She threw herself into his arms. Father. Father, it's really you? He held her. I'm sorry, Ginny. I lost my mind and put you through so much. I don't understand any of it. Lucas Ulin inside my body. Didn't the missing crown prince die? Ginny fumbled. He's figured it out? Never mind, Lucas doesn't matter right now. She spoke. Father. Are you going to send me to the palace? Because I'm not your daughter. Arthur pulled her close. Nonsense. Whatever anyone says, you are my daughter. You're going nowhere. Ginny stammered. But you sent me to the annex, he answered. That was to protect you from His Majesty. Unlike your brothers, you can't defend yourself yet. Unlike the main house, The annex can be hidden behind wards. Ginny went still. Is that so? Then what exactly have I been suffering over all this time? He drew out a sheet of paper. Ginny, look at this. This letter came from the temple. It names the royal bastard outright. But I never had any intention of opening it. With that, he tore it to pieces in front of her. Arthur knelt to her eye level. Dehao, Sinit, Inuk, and Ginny. Every one of you is a precious child of mine. She thought, some people spend a lifetime chasing this and never get it. And Ginny received it so easily, only for being born this man's daughter. Her eyes brimmed. But what if they keep pushing to take me into the palace? He struck his chest. Then I will rise against His Majesty and die an honorable death. Ginny went blank. Absolutely not. This is exactly why the family falls apart in the novel. At least Father is back. I need to check whether the original has shifted. She spoke. Father, I'll go back to the annex. He said her name. Ginny, you don't want to move back into the main house now? She shook her head. No, it's much easier to hide the novel over there. I can't go back. Then she announced loudly, I want to be far away from Father. The farther the better. Inside, her chest ached. I'm sorry, Father, just wait until I find a way. Cut to an abandoned palace inside the Imperial grounds. Enette hurled a teddy bear at the floor. Damn it. The Duke says he won't send Ginny to the palace? Not surprising. It has happened a few times before. She smiled slyly. Fine. Even with the Duke interfering, I still have another route. At the same time, on Ginny's side, she was tearing her hair out over the book. What is this? What method gets Enette to bring me into the palace? At least say what it is. It cuts off at the crucial moment. I need Mana to read further. No reaction means the plot hasn't moved. That figures. I'm only afraid of something worse. Enette is a regressor who has lived this life over and over. The novel was never supposed to go this way. Why has it changed? The only thing that changed is me. Could it be my doing? Watching Ginny frown at the book, the two maids melted. So adorable. Our lady is reading blank paper again. Are you bored, my lady? The young masters have gone out with his grace. Ginny didn't follow. What? The maid explained. Young Duke Zaitin. Your brothers will be entering the Royal Academy with him. Ginny startled. Zaitin. That name is definitely. Zitin Zasorwi, the male lead of the original, and the one who drives House Hanya to ruin. Very close with Sinit and Inuk. Come to think of it, that boy is trash too. After his daughter died, Arthur lost his mind and abducted Enette. But he never harmed a hair on her head, only kept her confined. And Zaitin joined hands with the Emperor and tore House Hanya apart without a shred of mercy. The more I think about it, the more inhuman this novel is. The heroine is a wicked girl chasing only her own dream. The male lead works out his rage by destroying an entire house. In the end, the one who takes the medicine and survives is Enette. And Dehao, the man who brought the elixir back, is a Hanya himself. However you slice it, it makes no sense. Just thinking about it darkens the mood. I've signed a contract with Lucas, so I have to stop this house from falling, no matter what. But I still have no way to get the elixir. Am I supposed to ask an eldest brother I've never even met? Wait a moment. Ginny sent for Lolo. I've just had a very good idea. A short while later, she was ambling off to find her father. She thought as she walked. The reason Dehao is the one who brings back the legendary elixir, and not the male lead Zaitin, is simple. Zaitin, commander of the Empire's strongest knight order, is tied up in civil war and cannot take the mission. Dehao commands a force strong enough to rival Zaitin's order, because he leads the Black Wolf Knights. But the key point is not Dehao himself. He merely takes the captain's chair of the Black Wolves in Zaitin's place. If Dehao is never enchanted by Enette, if someone else becomes captain and takes that mission, and if that someone loves me dearly, then the elixir becomes mine. Somewhere far away, Enette sneezed, because someone was speaking her name. Lolo saw the look on her mistress's face and shivered. My lady, you're smiling exactly like a villain. Henzi bowed at the sight of her. Good day, my lady. Hello, Henzi. Is father in? His Grace stepped out for a moment. Would you like to wait inside, my lady? Ginny went in. Her eyes landed on a portrait hanging on the wall. It was the previous owner's mother, Noel. She reached out to touch it. The color has faded. How many hands have touched this? If Noel were alive, none of this would be happening. Come to think of it, the Sentoa pirates killed the Empress as revenge against the Emperor. So what does that have to do with Noel vanishing? Nothing. A hostage has value. So what happened to Noel? A large hand settled on her shoulder. He tilted his head. What has you thinking so hard? Are you bored without your brothers? She shook her head. It isn't that. Then she thought, Mother's case can wait. Right now, I do what I can do. Ginny twisted the hem of her dress. Father, actually, there's something I want to ask you for. To ask? I want to learn the sword with Inuk. She watched his face. If I'm going to turn Inuk into a captain, I need to see how he's being trained. But why does Father look like that? He raised an eyebrow, that Inuk boy. He's been showing off in front of you again. Ginny blinked. Where did that come from? Last year he came to show you something and nearly injured you badly. Now that he mentioned it, she remembered. That's right. I forgot. He nearly burned all my hair off. He went on. I told the instructors he was not to use his aura to show off. I'll have to call him in for a proper scolding. That's not it. No choice, she raised her voice. Father, look at this. I didn't mean to show you this so abruptly. She gathered her strength. Come out. Why isn't it working? Seeing his daughter behaving strangely, he paused. That posture. Do you need the toilet? Ginny's eyes rolled. That's not it. He comforted her. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, Ginny. Everyone uses the toilet. She wept internally. I said that isn't it. At last, Ginny managed the spell. There. Father, look, the color of the aura is just like Inuk's. She thought, Ginny wasn't born a summer, but this faint current looks close enough. So I gambled. I still don't know if it fools Arthur. He said her name, Ginny. Her spine went cold. Caught? He spoke. It seems you have the makings of a summer. Ginny exhaled. Thank you, Father, for being fooled. So the plan holds. I've been cleared to join Inuk's training. Cut to the training ground, Inuk's voice rang out. Come here. Say hello, everyone. This is my little sister, Ginny. Someone leaned in. This is her? Yes, adorable, isn't she? On the outside, Ginny played sweet. Inside, she was grinding her teeth. Zeton. I had no idea Inuk trained alongside that brat. Watching Inuk show off his sister, the boy shot it down at once. Adorable where? Every child has a face like that. This was Zaitan Zasorwe, the male lead of the original. Inuk bristled and hugged her tight. What do you mean, every child? Do you not have eyes? Ginny couldn't breathe. Inuk kept going. Our Ginny is 100 times cuter than any other child. Zaitan let it go. Anyway, why is your sister joining our class? Inuk lifted her up. Our Ginny might become a summer. Zaitan stared at her. Strange. 2 summers in a single generation of one ducal house. Inuk was proud. Impressive, isn't it? Our Ginny could join the Royal Knight Order. The boy burst out laughing. How funny, she's just a girl after all. Ginny saw red. Look at that little bastard. Hearing Zeton go too far, Inuk snapped. Are you looking down on my sister? Zaitan went all in. And if I am? Let go of me. You little. Baita appeared. Inuk. There is no sparring scheduled today. Ginny frowned. The other side started it and only my brother gets scolded? This was Baita, swordmaster to Inuk and Zeton. Seeing the master arrive, Zeton shoved Inuk off. Sir, you've come. He spoke. Indeed. We have a young lady present today. Control your aura carefully. Especially you, Inuk. Ginny's face soured. Why is the favoritism so blatant? Let's see how well he actually teaches. Inuk began to gather his power, channeling it into the blade, eyes fixed steadily on his opponent. And the one standing opposite him was Zaitan. Watching her brother, Ginny finally saw it. A summer's aura is nothing like Senet's. You have to see it yourself to understand the difference. And the gap between the two of them. Zaitan's power was a full tier above her brother's. Ginny wept inside. Seeing Inuk push himself, Baita stopped him. Halt. Inuk, cut the aura now. He resisted. I can do more than this. He shook his head. You and Zaitan are built differently from the ground up. Stop imitating him and do as you're told. Inuk let his sword drop. Yes, sir. Ginny watched from behind, assessing. Inuk's form actually looked better. She glanced at Zeton, irritated. He hadn't broken a single drop of sweat and was muttering to himself. Ginny let it slip out. Of course. Bad luck personified. Zaitan heard it. The boy's temper flared. He marched straight at her. Ginny started to panic. He heard me? You! Yes? Why are you staring at me like that? She looked around for rescue. Save me, Inuk. Inuk still had his back turned and knew nothing. Zayton growled. I won't let this go. Answer me. She played dumb. What are you talking about? The boy snapped. Are you laughing at me? Ginny sighed inwardly, a personality warped by growing up under a stepmother and half-siblings. Textbook male lead. Then she said, I was looking at you. The boy raised his sword. What did you say? Ginny changed tack. Because you're so handsome, I couldn't help looking. Zayton froze. Handsome? Yes, your eyes especially. I was wrong. I won't look anymore. I'm sorry. Zayton flushed scarlet. No, there's no need to apologize that much. Ginny read it wrong. If I don't apologize, I get hit, don't I? At that moment, shouting came from across the yard. Inuk, I told you to stop. But this is all your fault. Ginny gave up. Would you stop bullying my brother already? On the way home, she rode on his back. Ginny held on tight, thinking. He trained all day and must be exhausted. And he's still carrying me. He really does love his sister. Inuk. She asked him, Do you want to be stronger? Inuk answered, No, not really. She stiffened. What? Why? Because no matter how hard I try, I'll never match Zayton or your other brothers. Besides, I'm the third son. I don't have to lead a night order. I may as well enjoy myself. Ginny panicked. No, absolutely not. What are you saying? If this keeps up, you idiot, Inuk. You have no idea what is waiting for you up ahead. A few days later, Ginny poked her head into the kitchen. Chef Lombardi, is it ready? He turned. Of course. You asked for it, my lady, but where do you take this every single day? Secret training. He bent down. Secret training, she answered. It's a secret. So you mustn't tell anyone, understood? He laughed to himself. Perhaps she's feeding stray cats. After several days of watching, Baita's attitude and the whole classes were equally rotten, constantly measuring him against Zayton. Inuk had lost every scrap of will. The biggest obstacle is his own resolve. Time for someone experienced to step in. If he has no will, I'll manufacture one. That happens to be my specialty. Ginny carried a basket of food to the appointed place. It's here, isn't it? Come out. I'm still asking nicely. Zitli. Inuk of House Hanya is in the original a born layabout. Unlike Father or Senate, who are always buried in work. Inuk spent enormous amounts of time playing with me. And I loved playing with him, but that was before I recovered my memories. I'm the third son. I only want to eat and play, making Inuk strong enough to seize the elixir himself. That is the most viable path to changing the future. At this rate, death is guaranteed. But I know exactly what makes a person stronger. Ginny walked into a clearing and called out, Come out now, Zitli. A black bear lumbered into view. Ginny's eyes widened. She raised a hand and knocked it squarely on the head. I told you, playtime comes after training. Keep this up and you'll be in trouble. Not long ago, I found it in the Duke's forest, just after it had lost its mother. I decided it would serve the long-term project titled Making Inuk Grow Up, so I have fed it and tamed it every day since. She gave the order. Roll left. Roll right. Very good. Well done. Do it right and you get this. Fish soaked in honey. Watching it devour the fish, she shuddered slightly. Is that really so delicious? Ordinarily, anyone without mana should not go near a magic beast. Once Zitli is grown, strong enough to split a boulder with one paw, taming it becomes impossible. In the original, it takes Annette a very long time to manage this. I never expected to tame a magic beast so quickly. I really am a genius trainer. Zitli's session ended splendidly. Now for Inuk. She raised her hand. All right, Zitli. This is a little cruel to him. Then she gave the order. Follow me. Obey, and you get another portion. She spoke silently to her brother. We live under one roof. Please understand. Cut to Inuk. He was bent over his books. Then Ginny appeared beneath his window. What was that? Ah, Ginny. Ginny is down there. Ginny fell. I'm coming down right now, hold on. Then he froze. What is that thing? A magic beast. Ginny? Down below, Ginny thought. I never planned to fall here. Well, Zitli is playing its part exactly as rehearsed. Inuk came flying down. Ginny, get up quickly. Are you hurt? She played helpless. Inuk. The bear drew closer with every step. Inuk snatched up a branch from the ground. He poured his power into it and swung. Get back! How did a magic beast get in here? The bear growled. The aura on the branch vanished instantly, all arranged by Ginny. I knew it would happen, so I wrapped myself in a shield of mana. That should be enough to light a fire under him. Standing behind him, she signaled the bear. Stop, Zitli. But Inuk was panicking. What do I do? Ginny, get up, hurry, Ginny despaired. No, it doesn't understand me, this is going wrong. She had always called Inuk her little brother. Our baby brother is terrified. He turned back to her, eyes red. Ginny, don't be scared. I'm here, so it's all right. Inuk pulled his sister tight against him, trembling. Something in Ginny's chest pinched. She patted his back. Between the two of us, you're the one who's terrified. But what do I do now? If Zitli walks up and starts begging for treats, the plan collapses. Then Zaitan appeared. You can't even handle a magic beast this small. Pathetic. Inuk of House Hanya. Get out of here, Ginny was stunned. Why is Zaitan here? What a heroic line. Can a child really say that? Inuk shouted. Zaitan. She glanced at her pet and gave a signal, as if Zaitan's words would do anything. Now, Zitli. Turn around, back off, Zitli. The bear understood immediately. It turned tail and fled. Inuk was full of admiration. Incredible. Zaitan. You can even speak to magic beasts. Without you, this would have been a disaster. Thank you. The boy walked over. There's no need to thank me. But he cut a glance at Ginny, waiting for something. She had no words. I staged every part of this, and Zaitan thinks it's his victory. Hilarious. Zitli backed off because I ordered it. She played along. You were so impressive. The boy sniffed. It was nothing special. It was. It was incredibly cool. Good. One more compliment. On the other side, Inuk's face was crumpling like he might cry. Zaitan called out, Training starts soon. Hurry up, Inuk of House Hanya. All right. Ginny took her brother's hand. Inuk, thank you. He turned. What? For what? For saving Ginny. He crouched down. Ginny. That's obvious. I'm your brother. I have to protect my only little sister. Then he ruffled her hair. Guilt pricked at her. No, it isn't obvious at all. Inuk, I know that feelings like that don't exist in this world. Cut to Inuk in training. Harder, bind the aura together. A little more. His own power threw him backward. But he didn't quit. Again. Bida's shout rang out. Inuk, what has gotten into you today? I told you not to try binding the aura. I told you your capacity is already at its limit. No, sir. I can do more, just like Zaitan. Watching from a distance, Ginny approved. Our baby brother deserves praise. Inuk really is determined now. She glanced at the instructor. By now, even he has to look at Inuk differently. But the man barked, don't delude yourself. Zaitan being able to do it does not mean you can. Zaitan is a summer. No, he is the finest talent in the entire history of Soul Knights. Nothing like you. Ginny shook with rage. That bastard. He kept going. Never practice anything outside what I teach you again. Overusing aura only drains you. Understood? Ginny thought. An ambitious student should be a gift. Why crush him instead? And it's strange, the more you train, the stronger the aura grows. A man on the verge of sword mastery could not possibly not know that. Her face soured. Very strange. It's as though he is deliberately stunting Inuk's growth. But why? For what? On the way back, Ginny ran into Senate. Is that him? Out for air? She turned. Inuk, you're tired. Go on ahead. I'm going to see Senate. When she reached him, Senate's face was streaked with tears. You're crying? He covered his face. No, liar. I saw you. Her voice came out colder than she intended. I didn't mean to say it like that. You have to have been comforted before to know how to comfort anyone. She hugged him. Sanit, what happened? Tell me. He took her hand. The moment you opened your mouth, you were already trying to take care of me and Inuk. That's where you're most like father. That habit of worrying about everyone else. There's no way you aren't his. Compared to you, the bastard child of our mother, that should be me. And even thinking that when they blamed you, I never stood up for you. I'm a coward. I don't deserve to be your brother. I'm sorry. Ginny startled. This is bad. I've poured everything into Inuk lately. Then she reassured him. Senate, we're all father's children. He said so himself. He answered. Father is a good man, that's why he says it. She tried again. Besides, you look more like father than Inuk does. He pushed back. Looks don't matter. Father is always composed, and I lose control and make mistakes because I'm not really his. Like the day I hurt you. Ginny went still. He's still carrying that? I'm pouring everything into training to prepare for the future, but I cannot leave Senate trapped in this misunderstanding. Don't worry, Sanit. She said it firmly. Father loses his temper and makes mistakes too. And then an idea took shape in Ginny's mind. I'll settle this in one stroke, at a level a child can manage. Cut to the study. Good father is here. She whispered to her brother. Sanit, watch what I do very carefully. She took aim at Arthur's most treasured vase and smashed it. He was stunned. Ginny, are you hurt? That must have startled you, she sagged. This isn't working. Arthur kept fussing. You're not injured anywhere? She clenched her fists and muttered, Sorry in advance, father. I planned all of this. And then she punched her father squarely in the face. Senate nearly fainted. A cold wind swept through the room. The crashing inside grew louder. Ginny threw a cushion at her father's face without a moment's hesitation. Right in front of Senate. Arthur's temper finally rose. Ginny, what exactly are you? He used her full name, Ginny Dahania. Meanwhile, she was reaching for the porcelain jar. Yes, He ground his teeth. What in the world is this? She feigned terror and dove into Senate's arms. Oh no, I'm so scared. Then she whispered to him, See? Father loses his temper too. He's an ordinary man just like us. Her brother burst out laughing. Then he stepped forward to shield her. Father? No, Your Grace. What Ginny did was my fault. Please don't scold her. Your fault? What do you mean, Senate? He looked away, that is, actually. When he had heard the whole story, Arthur understood. I see. So all this time you have been carrying guilt over using your aura on Ginny. Senate. It is entirely natural for a child your age to make mistakes, or to fail to master his own emotions. And I am not the perfect man you imagine either. You are still a child. Make mistakes, own them, and grow. That is enough. Ginny raised an eyebrow. I forgot. An old memory surfaced. Useless thing. I've fed you all these years and you can't do one job properly. In my past life, younger than Senate is now, I had to hear words like that. If you can forget, only the good memories remain. If only someone had said to me back then what Father just said. She thought as she ate. I wrecked the place, but hearing Father speak so honestly, the misunderstanding in Senate's heart seems to have dissolved. Her brother said, Thank you for saying that, No. Your Grace. Seeing Arthur's face fall, Ginny understood instantly. This atmosphere. She told her brother, Senate. Calling him Your Grace makes Father sad. He turned away embarrassed. No, Ginny, she cut him off. I can see the corners of your eyes drooping, Father. Senate went red. Is that true? He picked up his teacup, flustered. Well, that form of address is far too formal. And you hold no title yet. You may call me whatever you like, but... Senate looked down, awkward. Is that so? Then may I call you Father? Ginny nudged him. Father. He was confused. What? She answered. Since we're here, just call him Father. Arthur reddened across the table. That? Yes, you needn't stand on ceremony, Senate. He stammered, then. At last one word came out. Father. Arthur froze. Then looked away. Senate was flustered too. Then I'll take my leave. Father. Ginny put a hand to her forehead. Is that everything? These hopeless boys. Well, the men of House Hanya are unwinding one by one. Enoch is the one I'll tighten instead. One at a time. And then night came. Ginny buried herself in the novel that had fallen out of the sky. When exactly was this new content added? The original isn't progressing, so there's nothing to mine. Thankfully, because Lucas held firm. The young lady will absolutely not enter the palace. There has been no interference since. The more I think about it, having Lucas on my side is a solid foundation. A random soul lodged inside my father's body is dangerous, yes, but I can work that problem out with Lucas slowly. So then, she looked down at the pile of books at her feet. All I have to do is throw everything into Enoch's training. Relying on aura theory alone, his training will hit a ceiling soon. If only I could bring that person here. Zaitan's true master in the original. And why does this story have no side chapters? Zaitan's side chapters are full of useful information. What is this? She picked up a strange book. There was one of these? It's been blurred all this time, so I never noticed. Suddenly, a pink light spread through the room. What is this? The light was pointing in one direction. Is there something that way? Is it pointing at Zayton? Early the next morning. Zayton crossed his arms, face cold. What? Ginny put on her sweetest look. Please let me watch you. Could this boy be the clue? He stepped closer. Inuk's session is over already. She thought, it seems nobody else can see this light. Then she answered, actually, I came to watch you, Zayton. Sennet smiled pleasantly from the side. It seems the young lady finds Inuk's swordsmanship not worth watching. Ginny fumed. This brother of mine, does he have nothing to do but needle his 3 siblings? Zayton waved her off. Go away. I have no interest in being a child's entertainment. Ginny trailed after him. Who's a child? What do I do now? You dragged me all the way here, at least show me how. Wait, hold on. Ginny tripped over a stone and went sprawling. The book fell out. Zayton picked it up. What book is this? Ginny wasn't worried at all, since only she could read what was inside. Let him look. Zayton opened it. Why are you carrying a book with nothing written in it? Then Ginny noticed. The book is glowing, a reaction, and I'm the only one who can see it. She startled. I was going to scribble in it. Give it back, I have to check whether anything new appeared. Seeing her trailing him, Zayton made his irritation plain. Stop staring at me, it's unpleasant. Don't assume everyone has to coo over you just because you're a child. He handed the book over with a lecture attached. She scowled. Could you not hand it to me properly? Ginny opened it. Sure enough, there was text now. She hadn't read it yet, but this was clearly Zayton's side chapter. And then Ginny went blank. Zayton's side chapter? Watching Ginny hold out both hands for the book, Zayton was thinking, those eyes, glistening like drops of water, are adorable. And those round cheeks. I want to pinch them. Afraid his thoughts would show, Zayton forced his face into a scowl. Those little fingers, plump as sausages, adorable too. But what came out of his mouth was the exact opposite of his thoughts. I'm different. Child or adult, I despise anything weak. Your brothers, you, and your entire house. The boy saw her blank stare. What is that face for? Do you imagine House Hanya and House Zasorwi stand as equals just because both are ducal? Ginny's face soured. Why would you say something that vile? Am I obliged to speak gently to you? She thought. I knew the male lead had a sharp tongue in the original. I didn't know it was this sharp. Meanwhile, in Zayton's heart. She's so adorable, my chest aches. I envy Inuk for having a sister like this, but out loud, that Inuk is a nuisance. Why does he let this clingy little nuisance follow him around every day? And inside, why don't I have a sister? Ginny lost all appetite for reading further. I have no words for Zayton. Back home, Ginny read on. Inuk's natural aura is stronger than yours. You must train many times harder. I will not accept you becoming a stain on the history of House Zasorwe, overtaken by an Inuk. Zayton cut into his own skin so he would never forget Baida's reprimands. The man singles Inuk out with abnormal cruelty. So it was never that Inuk was weak. Zayton had been conditioned to believe he must never lose to anyone. And the man blocking Inuk's path is Baita. Baita, commander of the Summer Knights and an elder of House Zasorwe. And he stoops to this. Here it is, the formidable swordsman who met Zayton. A swordsman with gray eyes spoke. You do not need to waste your strength dragging others down. The boy, who had spent his whole life haunted by the fear of losing to a summer from another house, took that plain advice deep into his heart. Sir Swordsman, may I know your name? Forgive me, I have no name. And if you wish to become my disciple, then at the National Day Festival, show me what you are capable of. At that time, I will decide whether to take the young duke as my student. Ginny finished reading and set her jaw. It's definitely him. Zayton's true master in the original. If he became Inuk's master, that would be perfect. The main event of the annual National Day Festival is the sword tournament. Proving your ability means winning it. And the only way is for the 3 of us to prove it ourselves. The next morning, Inuk waved at her. Ginny, you must have been so bored. Ginny smiled. Not at all. Your training was impressive. I wasn't bored for a second. He looked away, embarrassed. Impressive? Nothing. Someone like me will never improve, however hard I try. Ginny's chest twisted. A short stretch under Baida and he has no confidence left. Of course, hearing that every single day would turn a genius into a fool. Inuk continued. But even so, even if I have no talent, I'm going to keep trying. Last time I couldn't protect you, so I made up my mind. A brother has to get stronger to look after Ginny. Ginny was silent for a moment, then spoke. Inuk. Do you really mean that? What? You truly want to become stronger? Inuk blinked. Of course I do. She made her offer. Then what if I could make you stronger? You? How? Actually, in my past life I was a very skilled swordsman. Inuk's face went blank. What? Were you dreaming? No, I even had disciples. From leaping off cliffs to climbing rapids with nothing but a knife, I once fought 18 men at once. It's true. Remember when I slept 2 whole days? That was my past life's memories overloading this body. She thought, younger than Inuk is now, I was trained more brutally than he could imagine. When she finished, her brother's mouth kept working. Ginny half expected him to tell her to bark like a dog. But Inuk's eyes lit up. Amazing. Ginny, you're incredible. I'm genuinely excited, Ginny. She turned away, helpless. How can anyone be this trusting? Even as a minor character, he was supposed to be on the villain's side. Inuk was resolved. I want to try. Ginny, take me as your disciple. She laughed. All right, if that's what you want. Then she thought, you volunteered, so don't blame me for going hard. She said, first we're changing locations. 30 minutes later, the clang of swords rang out. Inuk was panting. I'm exhausted, Ginny. Let's stop for today. She smiled. No, you aren't tired. He looked ready to cry. But I am. Master Beta always says to train in moderation. She cut him off. There is no such thing as moderation in training, Inuk. Whatever this Beta person says is worthless. However, she lifted a whistle and blew. That's one more lap for talking back. If Inuk were an ordinary child, I would never push him this far. Soul Knights have several times an ordinary person's stamina. All of this is for the sake of both our lives. And so it went. Every day. 1 week, 1 month. Inuk came looking for her, cheerful. Where are you hiding, Ginny? And Ginny's pet came bounding out. Inuk stopped. Then his mouth curved. What's this? A magic beast? Did you come here looking for a beating? Without a moment's hesitation, he leapt and dropped Ginny's pet in a single strike. Ginny watched from a hiding place. Inuk did it. Our clever baby brother. She sprang out. Inuk, that was incredible. Drenched in sweat, he turned to her. Did you see? I beat it. I'll take down monsters, exactly like Zaitan. Looking at his beaming face, she thought, they're both intact because of the mana shield I put up. Still, let him savor a taste of victory. Sometime later. All right, Inuk, rested? Time to start training. Inuk raised an eyebrow. What? Wasn't that the end? I caught Zitli. It starts now, Inuk. He collapsed onto the ground. What? Thanks to the side chapter, I know everything Zaitan was taught. Starting today, real aura training begins. Our goal is to win the sword tournament. Inuk panicked. What? Win the sword tournament? Me, not Zaitan? Impossible, she snapped. Quiet. House Hanya is the best. Compared with Zaitan, the most efficient way for a soul knight to keep growing is collision with an opposing property. Cut to Ginny knocking on Senit's door. Which means the person we need most right now is Senit, a winter. She waved brightly. Hello, Senit. He looked down. Why are you here? She answered. I need your help. He refused flatly. No. Ginny's face went blank. I haven't said anything yet. Why no? What? Did something happen? Senit wouldn't meet her eyes. You only like Inuk. Ginny had no words. This man. She turned on the charm. I like you too, Senit. This much. Then she thought, I've only been playing with Inuk lately. He's hurt. Help me, Senit. Even this doesn't work. But his face didn't budge. I shouldn't have bothered performing. Then he spoke. What do you want me to do? Say it. She answered. Nothing serious. Inside, she thought, just as I suspected. He doesn't show it like Inuk, but he adores me. She said all you have to do is play with me and Inuk for a while. And so the aura reinforcement program for Inuk, disguised as a game, had been running for a full month. Cut to morning. Lolo's voice rang out. My lady, please wake up. We must hurry and get ready. Ginny sat up, still drooling. What? What is it? The two maids talked over each other. Who does she take after, waking up this pretty Lulu? I think she takes after us. Love makes people resemble each other, Lolo. Exactly. Ginny thought. You two are chirping away at this hour. Would somebody answer me? Lulu lifted her up. Still sleepy, my lady? But the Grand Council of Elders is being held at House Hanya today, so we must be up early. Ginny startled. The Grand Council of Elders. The heads and elders of the 5 great noble houses, including House Zasorwi and House Hanya, will gather in one place. Normally it convenes at the palace. Why here this time? Could this council be about my parentage? Thanks to Lucas refusing several times, the rumor about my being a bastard has quieted considerably. Though these are the same people who would turn on me the moment it profited them. Behind her, the 2 maids were arguing over accessories. This one, surely. Anything suits our lady. Making a good impression on the elders wouldn't hurt. House Hanya falls because of the emperor's cruelty and pressure from the other houses. But the root of it is internal. In the original, the moment Arthur's rebellion fails, every branch family turns its back on him. Changing that tragedy is not a matter of fixing 1 or 2 things. Busy enough to die, and I still have to plot every move. Is this child abuse? Even so, in this life I will survive, and I will stop the day House Hanya falls. I have to be sharper than anyone. Once she was dressed, Ginny turned. Let's go, Lulu. Lolo. Yes, my lady. A short while later, in the ducal Great Hall, Henzi bowed. The Lady Ginny has arrived. Hello, Henzi. Enoch came running. Ginny. My sister looks adorable today. Her eyes lit up. Enoch. You look very handsome too. Praised. Enoch swelled with pride. Whose brother am I, after all? Though I've no idea why we have to dress up for people from other houses. Across the hall, the guests were talking. Will the young lady of House Odelta not be attending today? Sadly, the young lady is unwell today. That was the elder of House Odelta. The man beside him was disappointed. Oh. What is the matter with her? He answered. Perhaps because the young lady was born with a superb aptitude for water magic, her body is often frail. She is a rare talent among the 5 great houses regardless. May she recover soon. Then his eyes slid toward Ginny. Meanwhile, Enoch chattered in her ear. My other brothers have important exams, so it's just you and me. That's fine by me. Watching her, he answered his companion. Yes, quite so. Better than being in perfect health without a shred of talent, wouldn't you say? Ginny caught it instantly. That was aimed at me. Elder Adon made his displeasure plain. You say that in front of an elder of House Hanya? Baron Jodan was unmoved. Why are you making such a fuss? He pressed further. I said nothing untrue. Suddenly he pitched to the floor. It's burning. A fire property aura. From today, that will be the family motto of my house. The whole hall broke into astonished whispers. The young lady can use aura? At that age? Baron Jodan sat on the floor, his face torn between pain and alarm. He pointed at Ginny. A direct heir of House Hanya dares to attack an elder of House Odelta? She thought dryly. Grown men doing this to a child. Ginny balled her fists and played pitiful. I only wanted to be friendly with you. Everyone kept asking me to show them. Then her expression flipped entirely into a sly little smile. If it hurt, Ginny apologizes. The Baron shouted, You call that an apology? Elder Adon laid a hand on his shoulder. From a child, that is sincerity enough. Another guest added, She is a child at play. Must you be this angry, Baron Jodan? An adult should be generous. Surrounded on all sides, he could only swallow it. Arthur walked in. What is all this noise? Elder Adon asked respectfully. My lord, are you aware the young lady carries the aptitude of a summer? Arthur answered briefly. I am. Adon pressed. Why did you not report it to the Council of Elders? I did not expect it to cause this much commotion. He turned away. Ginny is a direct heir of House Hanya as well. I simply could not predict when her power would surface. Adon faltered. But the young lady. Someone raised a hand to stop him. A bastard, you mean? Watch your words, Elder Adon. In this age, magical aptitude is fading away. He pressed the point. Then is the young lady's talent not our greatest hope? Precisely. Not every direct heir of the 5 houses is born with the makings of a soul knight. That tradition weakens with every passing year. Ginny smiled to herself. Since we've come this far, why not pour a little oil on the fire? She gathered her power and raised a ring of energy in her palm. The crowd around her was stunned. Ginny can do this too, Elder Adon exclaimed. An ice property aura. Another guest nearly went to his knees. Good heavens! Our young lady is a soul master, 1 in 100 years. Another puffed out his chest. I always knew she was extraordinary. Ginny looked at them all, seething. Liars. You are the ones who called me a bastard. You are the ones who abandoned me. And at this rate, my mana runs dry and the fake aura is exposed. She called out quickly, Lolo! The maid gathered her up. Oh, my lady, are you tired? She answered drowsily. So sleepy. Elder Adon pressed in. Could you show me one more time, my lady? Try a water property aura. Ginny narrowed her eyes. That's enough for today. My power is public now. From here, I'll have to find out who genuinely thinks of House Hanya. He kept pushing. My lady, just once more. If you cannot show us, then an order cut through like a blade. Enough. The old man went pale. Arthur's voice was low. My daughter is tired. He argued back. My lord, what does one sleepy child matter? This concerns the survival of the entire house. Arthur said nothing at all. Ginny glanced up, thinking, there are retainers who speak to their lord like that. And father lets it pass. Generous indeed. Then a wave of magical pressure exploded outward. Ginny went cold. Elder Adon was swallowed whole by it. Wait. Arthur raised one hand and bound him fast. What did you just say? His face was ice. Shall I remove that head of yours, since it cannot read a room? Ginny understood at once. Of course, it's still Lucas. She watched him work the spell. I really am hopeless. One look at that face and I forget. But an aura carries the signature of the man who holds it. Raising an aura that isn't yours is nearly impossible. And yet Lucas built a dark aura inside Arthur's body. A shadow knight. A man this strong walked into a trap set by Zio? Meanwhile, the elder was writhing. My lord, please calm yourself. Arthur barked silence. Ginny panicked in earnest. At this rate, someone actually dies. Father, at her voice he stopped. The killing intent settled. She wrapped her arms around his leg and looked up, pleading. Please forgive the elder. The old man was still convulsing under the pressure. He spoke out of concern for the house. I don't think Lucas struck out on my account. He simply has never met an inferior who dared to contradict him. In any case. Ginny was urgent. Father, come back to your senses. Then she whispered. If you cause an incident wearing Arthur's body, neither of us survives it. He looked down at her, and his eyes softened. His hand dropped. The elder was released and crumpled to the floor, shaking and coughing. Arthur turned his back and declared it. Today's council is cancelled. All of you out. Ginny smiled. How can anyone speak like that? She looked at her father, thinking. Nothing like him at all. 3 years of fooling the world, and looking back, it really is a con. What do I do if he's exposed? He was unbothered. If I'm caught, I run. All I need is my mana back. She snapped. Don't talk nonsense. Have you forgotten we're allies? We need to find whoever forced you into my father's body. I said I would help. Have a little patience. Arthur propped his chin on his hand and murmured. Looking at it like this, the resemblance really is uncanny. What? She answered. Nothing. Only that when it's just the two of us, you never call me your child. He offered. Shall I then? She was suspicious. The man who despises every child alive. Why does he suddenly want to be called father? Still, she forced it out. Father. He went rigid. Ginny looked up, eyes full of hope. Father. He stayed silent, his face unreadable and cold. She grew flustered. What is this? He asked, so he could forbid me from saying it? Fine. I won't say it again, so stop hating me. I'll be going then. After she left, he kept staring at the door. He exhaled. I am the one who has been treating the Duke as a father. Sitting on her bed with the book in her arms, Ginny sighed. What an exhausting day. But I saved the elder with the most weight in that room, and I taught every one of them not to lay hands on House Hanya carelessly. There were footsteps outside her room. Ginny startled and clutched the book. Who is it at this hour? I'll pretend to be asleep for now. The door opened. A footstep came slowly in. Lolo lowered her voice. Has the young lady fallen asleep? Lulu answered. Entertaining all those elders today, she must be worn out. They say His Grace tore into Elder Adon for bullying the young lady. Lulu was startled. Terrifying. He has always been so mild. Ginny lay still, pretending. Lolo spoke again. But something serious has happened, Lulu. They say His Majesty is furious that the young lady was not sent to the palace. He intends to reclaim every piece of land and property he ever granted the ducal house. On the bed, the little girl sat bolt upright. What? Unbelievable. His Majesty acknowledged their service in the war and granted it himself. Lulu sighed. Errors in the records. Redistribution. There is no shortage of pretexts. Lolo added, he knows perfectly well the house is struggling ever since the madam's fleet went down, which is exactly why he's squeezing them dry, knowing the house is buried in debt. Ginny was genuinely shaken. What? Me? Not Annette? She went straight to Arthur. Father, is the Emperor taking our money? He stayed calm. Where did you hear that? Ginny pressed. It's because I didn't go to the palace, isn't it? The ships that sailed with Noel's fleet were also loaded with goods belonging to the trading company run by her father, the Marquis. House Hanya took heavy losses, but Arthur refused to let a man who had just lost his daughter carry more, so he absorbed all of it. What a soft-hearted father. He knelt to her level, worried. Ginny, what's wrong? She really was alarmed. If the Emperor takes our money too, we're destitute. Father. Arthur was firm. Absolutely not. She blinked. What do you mean? He said it plainly. Don't tell me to send you away to protect our assets. Ginny shook her head. That isn't it. Then she thought, before, I would have thought exactly that. But now I'm a proper daughter. Why would I? And even if I went to the palace, House Hanya still falls, so. She looked up, eyes shining. Father. I want to take a trip. We'll have to protect our assets another way. The Pleasure City. Odelta. The Count's family rules the entire southern region, one of the 5 great houses just like Hanya, and they have a great deal of money. But the Count's only daughter is sick all year round. In the original, Annette cured her and received an enormous reward along with a rock-solid ally. But right now, Annette is younger than I am and cannot leave the palace. Ginny smiled. I'll cure the Count's daughter in Annette's place. In exchange, the Count helps House Hanya keep its assets from the Emperor. Then her eyes widened. Hold on. Why are you here? Lolo explained cheerfully. The young Duke has business in Odelta as well, my lady. Ginny blinked. Doesn't he have his own carriage? The boy's face was flat. The Zisorwi carriage is overcrowded. There was no other option. She studied his expression. This one. I can read exactly what he's thinking. Ginny fretted. If House Hanya goes broke, we won't be able to give Zaitin free rides. Lolo opened the snack box and reassured her. Oh, my lady, House Hanya will never be that poor. You could eat like this for a lifetime. Zaitin asked, are you talking about the Emperor demanding the assets back? Ginny sighed. Rumors travel fast. She chewed a pastry and set it straight. I like money more than snacks. Zaitin fell silent, inside his head. Even the sound of her breathing is adorable. Then he smiled faintly. I see. You like money. Don't worry, I have a great deal of it. A bustling town, the architecture unlike anything she'd seen. We've arrived, my lady. The little girl leapt down from the carriage, delighted. Ginny stood still, eyes fixed on the castle before her. A boatman rowed passengers across the canal. A fruit and vegetable stall bustled with buyers and sellers. She drew a deep breath, thrilled. The smell of money. Divine. A hand held out a handkerchief. Zaitin asked. Not used to the smell of the sea, I take it. Cover your nose and it's easier. Ginny took it. Thank you. While she was still savoring the perfume of money, Enoch came running over cheerfully. Ginny. He started to say something, then stopped. His eyes locked onto the handkerchief in her hand. What is that? A handkerchief. His face darkened. Zaitin gave it to you? He immediately pulled out his own. I have a handkerchief too. Throw that one away. She was baffled. Enoch. Why would I throw away a perfectly good handkerchief? He held his out because... Enoch took her hand, his voice softening. A brother is his sister's knight. She held the handkerchief, stunned. That's right. Here, a handkerchief carries that meaning. In the original, Zaitin gave Annette a handkerchief to declare his loyalty and his love. He's still far too young to mean anything by it, but still. She was about to thank him when the look on her brother's face stopped her cold. Enoch was staring straight at Zaitin. What is it? Then he pulled her tight against him, right in front of the boy. Zaitin, your temper has been foul lately. Perhaps training has worn you out. The summer villa. Ginny felt that something was off. How strange. Zeytin sat brooding. Ever since we reached Odelta, his mood has been terrible. They say Duke Zasorwi came along as well. She shrank the book with magic and tucked it away. Something is caught in him. I should find out why House Zasorwi came to Odelta. Baita stood with his arms crossed, shouting, "Get up, Zeytin." The boy lay collapsed on the ground. 1,000 swings. Blood had already seeped from his hands. Baita paid no attention and only pushed harder. He kicked the boy where he lay. "Stop the theatrics, get up." Duke Zasorwi walked in, expression cold. He looked at his son with plain disgust. So pathetic it isn't worth watching. Zeytin was still on the ground. "I hear the Hanya boy your age can already command his aura freely. Do you intend to destroy this house with your incompetence? You useless thing." Zeytin kept his head down. Ginny sat brooding. Guess who is not the male lead here? She closed the book. Grow up among people like that, and warping is inevitable. A childhood full of cruelty and bad people. Exactly the template every male lead must pass through. Put like that, I could look away. But this is not merely a world in a book. And I am only a member of a background family. Living inside it, that boy's ordeals, the ones summarized in a few lines of prose, are a horrifyingly long stretch of time. And he still cannot bear it. Baita, he has to be removed regardless, if only for how he treats Inuk. She walked with her hand on her chin. If I dig into what's behind him, I might find a reason to have him thrown out. He is a textbook villain, so surely he must be doing something. Odelta, City of Pleasures, and the largest casino in Odelta, Akro. The manager greeted him with a bright smile. It has been too long, Master Baita. You come so rarely, we had to prepare a great deal. Then he glanced at Zeytin and asked politely, Forgive me. Baita waved. The boy is old enough for a place like this, wouldn't you say? The manager phrased it carefully. Not at all, sir. Any noble visiting Odelta ought to see this casino. Baita pushed him along. Prepare the table. Ginny watched from a corner, cursing, that lunatic, dragging a child into a casino. I had guessed the people bullying the male lead were up to something dirty, but I never imagined anything this vile. Even with the invisibility cloak borrowed from House Hanya, my opponent has reached master rank. I have to be extremely careful. Baita stood at the door. Get in. Inside the casino, a table was set with glasses, an empty bottle, and an overflowing ashtray. The manager wore a smile full of hidden meaning. The three sat around the table. The manager opened. Shall we discuss a little business, Master Baita? Yes, let's. A knock came at the door. He spoke. The item I prepared. Sele entered and bowed gently. Forgive the intrusion, Master Baita. Suddenly she clutched her head as an invisible force slammed her down. Baita roared, I am discussing important matters. Who are you to interrupt? She hurried to apologize. Please forgive me, my lord. Ginny frowned. Has he been drinking? Sal knelt on the floor, her face twisted in pain. The little girl looked closer. But that woman. She's wearing a slave collar. Slavery is illegal in this empire. Baita waved a hand. Fine, stand in that corner and stay there. Ginny drew a magical recording device from her pocket. Thank goodness I brought it. Always prepare for the worst. She pressed the activation switch. Baita dropped into his chair, back to business. He announced it with full confidence. As the representative of House Zasorwi, I can deliver an enormous quantity of mana stones this time. He poured them onto the table. 39. Ginny's eyes went wide. Mana stones. But extracting mana stones requires. The manager cut in. One moment, Master Baita. With my own eyes, I count only 35. He laughed aloud. Then he looked toward Zeytin. I did not bring the boy for nothing. I'm giving you the chance to take the last 4 from right here. The manager was astonished. You mean the young Duke's aura? Baita smiled knowingly. Naturally. For a source of aura this fresh, you should be paying 10 times over. The manager still hesitated. Of course, sir. But is it wise to speak of this in front of the young Duke? He was unconcerned. Don't worry. Zeytin sat perfectly still, no expression at all. I hypnotized the boy before bringing him in. Zeytin's vacant eyes said everything. Ginny was appalled. She crouched behind cover, heart hammering. Hypnosis. Forcing aura out of a soul knight shortens his lifespan. Mana stones are made by extracting aura from a human body. They power magic circles and have countless applications. And because they function as currency, They're traded on the black market. I assumed only lowlifes with no conscience did this. But the victim here is a child. The manager held a vial and stood in front of Zayton. I never imagined I would extract the aura of one of the 5 great houses with my own hands. A true honor, Master Baita. Baita sipped his drink, unbothered. This clears every last gambling debt of mine. The manager pledged, as a direct heir of House Sisorwe, I'll pay you 20 times over. He smiled darkly. Then shall we begin? He set a pink stone on the boy's forehead. Ginny watched him fix it in place. That looks like an aura extractor. Everything is recorded. She exhaled. That's enough evidence. Zayton will one day be one of the men who drive my family to its death. But that day hasn't come, so right now I have to save him. Ginny crouched under the table and forced mana into her teeth. One good bite should break it. She bit down hard on the boy's leg. Zayton came to, eyes flying open. The manager and Baita went white. The manager stammered, Why, young Duke? Zayton jolted upright. Where am I? What is this? He touched his forehead and pulled the stone away. What is this? His face hardened. Who are you? What are you doing to me? The manager panicked. That is, Master Baita. Could you hypnotize him again? Baita was helpless. Impossible. The manager denied everything. I hypnotized no one. Zayton was reeling. Master. What hypnosis? Didn't you tell me it was only meditation exercise? He answered carelessly. Hypnosis, meditation, they're the same thing. You slow-witted boy. Zayton pointed at the stones on the table. But aren't those extracted aura? What are those mana stones doing in front of you? He slammed the table. Are you doubting me? I am your master. The boy stood there wary and shaking. Who taught you that a master and student must trust each other? Doubting the people around you is your disease, Zayton. Ginny watched from the shadows, disgusted. You have to do something trustworthy to be trusted. Anyone can manipulate a child like that. The boy struggled. But sir, I don't want to doubt you, only all of this. He cut in. I told you to stop. He folded his arms, his voice like a blade. Isn't it precisely because you can't trust anyone that your mother left you? Zayton went completely still. In the original, Zayton's mother was driven out of the duchy. Simply because the Duke had tired of her and wanted another woman in her place. Not knowing that, Zayton believed his mother had abandoned him. It was only much later, when Annette found his mother and cleared up the misunderstanding, that he was free of it. He pointed at the boy. If you don't want to be abandoned again, learn to trust people. If you can't trust your own master, who can you trust? Zayton bowed his head and answered reluctantly. Yes, sir. Ginny was disgusted beyond words. What a petty man, using a child's wound for his own amusement. She couldn't stand it any longer and slammed her hand down on the recording device. Just as he was saying it, I did not bring the boy for nothing. I'm giving you the chance to take 4 mana stones. Both men jumped at the sound echoing back. What was that? Where is that coming from? Over there. Both of them turned toward Zayton's feet, where the little girl was hiding. The device under the table kept playing. This clears every last gambling debt of mine. As a direct heir of House Sisorwe, I'll pay you 20 times over. He roared, Zayton, how dare you? You doubted me, so you faked this? The boy looked down at the device in his hand, bitter. So it was true. You extract my aura and sell it for money. Zayton was shaken. What happens if my father learns of this? Baita stammered. It was all for your own good. Let me explain first. The boy turned and walked away, his voice cold. I'll hear your explanation at the trial, Master Baita. The door slammed shut. Ginny startled. I should probably slip out too. Baita swore. Wretched, insolent brat. The manager sneered. This is what happens when you get greedy. He shouted. Shut your mouth. This is all you're doing? Every hand you won. The manager smiled thinly. I'll waive today's entry fee. Calm yourself. Then he said politely, in that case, we'll take our leave, and turned. Sell, come. She obeyed at once, yes, sir. Then she stopped short. Sally had accidentally met Ginny's eyes. The girl under the table froze. She saw me. The manager urged her on. What is it? Why are you standing there staring? She answered. There is a foot here, sir. What? Ginny's tiny foot was poking out. Seal smiled warmly. A child's foot. How sweet. Ginny's hair stood on end. When did my foot slip out? Why did I wear the red shoes today? This is bad. The tablecloth was yanked up, exposing the little girl curled beneath it. Ginny's heart pounded. Caught like this, what do I do? She forced an innocent face. Good evening, everyone. Then waved her hands. Ginny doesn't know anything. Please don't hit me, I'll be going now. Vida exploded and lunged. How did this wretched brat find this place? There's no way you came here alone. Your father sent you, didn't he? I suspected something the moment she clawed her way into her brother's class. Ginny listened and thought, this is getting dangerous. He's genuinely out of control. Sel threw herself in front of the girl. Please calm down, sir. She's only a child who understands nothing. He struck her aside, sending her sprawling. Move. Seely still shielded the girl. Are you all right? He spat at her. Even trash like you thinks it can talk back. Then he turned to the manager, his eyes calculating. Well then, manager, there's something I'd like to buy. Do you have one? The manager smiled. You mean a slave control device? I do. Vida was decisive. Good. Hand it over. Sel clutched Ginny to her chest, her face draining as the order came. Sele, this is your new master's first command. Kill that child. Ginny's blood ran cold. Kill me, pin it on a slave, and destroy the evidence. Seely held her tighter and shook her head. I can't. How could I do that to a child? I won't. He gripped the glowing control rod. I hold the rod. You dare refuse? I said kill her. Sel screamed as magical current tore through her body, convulsing her. Ginny understood. That contract is holding her hostage. She spoke up, knowing she was exposing herself. You don't have to do it, Sally. Sela looked up, astonished. What? The little girl stepped out on her own. Sparks of magical current flickered around her red shoes. She drove a kick straight into his face. Vida screamed and went down flat, the rod flying from his hand. My face. Ginny landed neatly. You let your guard down because you assumed I couldn't fight back. Even a master rank knight feels a shock like that. He lay motionless. The manager just stared, blank. Ginny fixed her eyes on the rod. A slave control device. She brought her heel down and crushed it. I wish this thing had never existed. The manager was unmoved. It's useless, my lady, as long as her slave contract stands. The little girl planted herself in front of Sel. Slavery is illegal. I'll report you. He laughed thinly. Yes, yes. Whatever you say, my clever little lady. But what will you do about it? Do you have proof? Ginny answered. Zaitan does. He smiled, entirely confident. Duke Zisorwi will not lift a finger, my lady. He happens to be the largest investor in the operation I manage. Ginny went still. No wonder he's so relaxed, so Duke Zisorwi is part of it too. She shifted focus quickly. First, I have to get out of here. Vida is unconscious. This is my chance. Sally was still on the floor, weeping into her hands. But what happens to her once I'm gone? And what about her child? He offered a bargain wrapped in mockery. So what will you do, my lady? Buy Sel at a high enough price and I'll sell. Nobody is going to believe a little girl anyway. Ginny set her jaw. There's no other way. I never expected to use it here. If Duke Zisorwi won't act, my father will. Then she said it plainly. All of you are about to be beaten. She remembered her father handing her the whistle. Father, what is this whistle for? Its sound is amplified by aura. Whenever and wherever you need me, blow it. Hearing the whistle, the manager grimaced. What is that? That noisy little toy? The sound carried across the entire estate. Ginny waited, tense. Does he appear the moment I blow it, or does it take a while? I have to stall in the meantime. The manager was stunned. My lady, why have you suddenly started bawling like a child? She answered evenly. Children do suddenly start crying. He snapped. You haven't seemed like a child once this whole evening. Be quiet. I'm busy immersing myself in my emotions. Ginny thought, however generous my father is, he cannot possibly see me like this and let it stand. But when is he coming? Then a strange sound came from above. An entire section of the roof shattered, stone and debris flew everywhere, and dust swallowed the room. The manager shrieked, the roof! Standing among the rubble, Ginny thought, no matter how urgently I signaled, my father is not the kind of man who smashes a building first. His face was cold, killing intent pouring off him. She looked up, overcome. Father. His eyes softened when they found Ginny. He landed and walked to her. I'm here. She faltered. No, wait. You're Lucas, aren't you? Why did you come? Arthur wiped her nose. Clean your face before you speak. She batted his hand away. That's none of your business. She frowned inwardly. Everyone here thinks he's Arthur. The manager floundered. Wah, what business does the Duke of Hanya have here? His answer was flat. That is none of your business. Cards and gambling chips lay scattered across the floor. The room was wrecked. Furniture toppled everywhere. Arthur held the girl and pressed the manager. Explain to me why my daughter is crying inside a casino. Ginny added her complaint. And tell him what you said to me. The manager stammered. A misunderstanding, my lord. The young lady appeared lost, so I was merely escorting her back to her lodging. He rested a hand on Seely's shoulder and kept going. I even summoned a maid, sir. Ginny pointed. Liar. He traffics slaves illegally, and he was going to sell her to me at an outrageous price. The manager scrambled. What are you saying? My lord, surely you don't believe a child. His answer was short. Of course I believe my daughter. At the same moment, Magic seized the manager. He screamed. He writhed. My lord. Wait. This is Odelta, not your territory. If you harm me, it could spark a dispute between domains. Arthur stayed cold, magic coiling around his hand, while the other still held the little girl. Ginny sneered inwardly, a swindler still running his mouth at the last second. This won't end cleanly. Damn it. Purple magic gathered around him. What can I do? If it's war, then war. Ginny was stunned. What? She grabbed at his arm frantically. No, father, stop. He was calm. Why? This entire trip depends on the count of Odelta's money. If a conflict breaks out exactly as that swindler said, it becomes very awkward. He knelt, considering. I wonder whether evidence alone would see him punished under the law. She tugged his sleeve. I said stop. Her plan was snagged on precisely that point. Then something flew toward her. She caught it. What just came flying? She looked down at her hand and froze. This? Didn't Zayton take this with him? Reflected in her eyes was Zayton. Why? She was stunned. You came back? Zayton was serious. Something didn't sit right. He pointed at his own leg. There is a small bite mark on my leg. Did you bite me to save me? Then he waved it off. Never mind. Now isn't the time for that. Zayton turned to Arthur. My lord, we have proof. There is no issue with you administering punishment yourself. He nodded. Indeed. Magic coiled around his hand. Good. Under the night sky, the manager's scream rang out and died away. Ginny marveled. Lucas, what a ruthless creature. Thank goodness he's on my side. With it settled, I remembered something important. Sel was still kneeling, her face frantic. Sel. The little girl faced her. Your child is at the Bene Relief House, isn't he? Her voice broke. Yes, my lady. My child is in danger. Ginny put a hand to her chin. If it really is the Bene Relief House. That place. It is one of the most horrifying settings in the entire novel. The royal family, the nobility, and the slave guild, all in collusion. A cunning machine that grinds children with nowhere to go into mana stones and magical artifacts. And it is in that very place that the most powerful weapon in this world is created. It has to be dealt with either way, and before Inette ever leaves the palace. She held out a hand. Seele, leave this place with me. We'll go and rescue those children together. She was overcome. You mean you'll help me find my child? Ginny thought. I set out to travel purely for my own gain. And yet, if I take this woman with me, how do I explain it? Arthur stood with his arms folded, expression cold. Is he unhappy that Seele was a slave? Seele spoke quickly. My lord, I am confident I can care for the young lady with great diligence. She put a hand to her chest, resolute. I bear a slave's mark now, but in the Ulan Empire there is an honest trade called guiding. Arthur was skeptical. Since when is wandering a trade? She pressed on. Beyond the common tongue, I speak 2 foreign languages. Ginny chimed in. Seele is capable. Please say yes, father. His face went thoughtful. Seele continued. Of course, a lowly person like me is unworthy of serving the young lady, since she is so kind and lovely and good. I know little of mana, but I can sense who carries a noble and warm current within them. Arthur's brow lifted slightly. Noble and warm mana. He nodded. Very well. Then he looked at the little girl and smiled. My daughter really is kind and lovely. Ginny blinked. Where did that come from? She was praising my mana, not yours. He closed it out. An extra attendant beside the young lady is no bad thing. Sel bowed low. I thank you sincerely, Your Grace. But the girl still found it odd, this whole conversation. Lucas, you are not this easy a man. Then she remembered. I forgot about Zayton. Zayton was looking at her, displeased. Ginny asked innocently, What is it? Then thought, Why is my impression of him even worse than usual? The boy asked, Why did you help me? His face was serious. Abandoning me would have served House Hanya better. Ginny fumbled. That is. She held the book, her hand trembling slightly. I want to save the ones people call useless and disposable. The way I was. He is only a child. How could he use a magical device? How could he reach this place alone? The boy's face hardened and the air went thick. Ginny snapped alert. Zayton is starting to suspect me. I need to fix this immediately. She stepped closer, hesitant. It's because I like you. His eyes went round. What? She grabbed the hem of his coat. I liked you so much I followed you here in secret. Ginny helped you because Ginny likes you. Then she threw her arms around him. Zayton froze solid. The boy's face went crimson. Afterward, the Acro Casino collapsed entirely. At the estate of the Count of Odelta, a voice spoke. And so. The Count closed his eyes, dazed. They tell me you destroyed Acro. Arthur and Ginny sat in their chairs, the largest casino in the heart of Odelta. He was stunned. With your aura, bringing an entire building down with one blow. Arthur sighed. That's correct. Ginny clutched her skirt and didn't dare open her mouth. The Count asked with concern, Are you unwell, my lord? Arthur turned, mildly surprised. What are you doing? The girl smiled brightly. I think father's leg has fallen asleep. She was faintly surprised to hear him use formal address. Arthur is a duke, but the Count of Odelta heads one of the 5 great houses as well. He spoke, courteous and yet full of pressure. In any case, I apologize. Name the sum for damages. Ginny thought dryly. Even formal speech can't hide that arrogance. The Count waved his hands. Not at all, Your Grace. If a casino in my domain became a hub for illegal trafficking, I should have watched it more closely from the start. I ought to thank you for clearing it out for me, Arthur answered evenly. Then thanks will do. The room was full of books on illness and medicine. Anyone could see the Count's daughter was gravely ill. Arthur glanced around. I hear your daughter is often unwell. Then he added, My Ginny wanted to meet Lady Loyan. A pity. The Count was surprised. Is that so, my lady? Then he smiled. Fortunately, Loyan is having a good day today. You have come all the way to Odelta. Would you like to meet my daughter for a while? Loyan sat alone at a table set in the garden. Her face was quiet. Then she smiled warmly. Hello, young lady of House Hanya. I am Loyan of House Odelta. It is an honor to meet you. Ginny waved. Hello, I'm Ginny. It's lovely to meet you, so that girl is Loyan. She looked at her and thought, One day this child becomes a mage so great the Emperor grants her a title. Loyan of the Water Hue. Loyan folded her hands. I'm sure I'll have a wonderful time with you today. Then she spoke again, anxious. I only worry that my body may turn on me mid-visit and spoil your day. Ginny understood at once. It seems that happens often, she answered. Your health matters more than any visit. She took Loyan's hand. If it hurts, cry out, cry properly, I don't mind at all. So please stop worrying about that, understood? Loyan's eyes brightened and her cheeks flushed. Yes. The garden was full of light and color. The little girl sat enjoying tea and cakes. Her fork sank into a slice of cake. How long can this peaceful stretch actually last? The stern face of Arthur rose in her mind. Lucas is occupying my father's body. Then the mana training. Then Inuk and Senit. Just training Inuk and Senit is already more than I can manage. To change the fate of an entire ducal house and a girl with a terminal illness, I probably need 10 more bodies. For now, let me enjoy this quiet. The quiet shattered under a violent fit of coughing. Are you all right? Loyan covered her mouth. I'm sorry. Ginny looked carefully. Her color has gone much paler than a moment ago. Loyan's illness is called mana stagnation. Her innate water mana is too abundant and too raw, and it pools until it drains her body. In the original, only the Emperor and Annette know the cure. But the Emperor wanted leverage over Odelta, so he kept the method to himself. She wiped her mouth with a napkin, then smiled reassuringly. I feel better now. I'm sorry to have worried you. Ginny sat thinking. I meant to save this and reveal the cure at the right moment. But I've gone soft like my father. I can't sit and watch a child suffer like this. She slapped a hand on the table. Next to someone's health, what are plans or money worth? I hope she recovers soon. She set both hands on the table, serious. Loyan? Actually, It's been a long time, Loyan. She looked up, surprised at the man approaching. Marquis Bene has arrived. Ginny went rigid. Bene. Ben is the owner of the relief house. He walked in. Elegant. Are you feeling better? Ginny stared, stunned, as she recognized him. The cruelest villain in the entire novel. Why is the worst villain in the story standing here? He spoke. And who is this sweet little lady? Loyan answered. This is the young lady of House Hanya, Marquis Bene. He smiled. Ah, the young lady rumored to carry the aptitude of a summer. Ginny narrowed her eyes. He's very interested in my counterfeit aura, naturally. By the book's description, a child like me would be treated as a printing press. Good for both aura and mana, exactly what my foster father did in my past life. His voice probed. Do you know, my lady, about the beauty of a summer's aura stone? His eyes were full of calculation, as beautiful as burning fire. His hand moved toward her head. Wouldn't you like to see your own aura stone? Ginny answered flatly. Not at all. Inside, she thought, did he expect me to say yes? Please take my life? He softened his voice. It won't hurt, my lady. Extracting a small amount of aura does no harm to your health. Ginny startled. What? None of this appears in the original. Loyan smiled and explained, I had my mana extracted as a child too. Because the mana in me was pooled too thickly, my body was weak. She gestured toward him. Marquis Ben was the one who taught me. Ginny ground her teeth. That man. She planted a foot on the table. He uses treatment as a pretext to do exactly what Baito was doing. Ginny sprang up and seized his hair. Take this. He grimaced. What do you think you're doing, my lady? Ginny came away with a fistful of hair, entirely deadpan. Your head is terribly dusty, my lord. He stared. Pardon? Loyan laughed it off. Perhaps it's the color of your hair that made her think so, my lord. He smoothed his hair back. Yes, no matter. Let us begin extracting the mana stone. A yellow glass vial sat inside a case. Ginny went cold at the sight. That is exactly what Baita used. A small hand reached toward the vial. You exploit children, so I'll use your own tool against you. She snatched it out of his hand. Is that a toy? Let me hold it. Then she let go. The vial hit the ground and shattered. He panicked. No, that extractor cost 3,000 gold. The little girl looked down at him from atop the table. It's broken now, nothing to be done. A calculating smile spread across her lips. Ben grabbed her by the collar. Do you have any idea what that was worth? Ginny looked at him. How curious. Why are the wicked in this world always the same? They treat children as worth less than an object. Well, that is what makes a villain. He stopped short. What is that sound? In Ginny's mind. Hurry up. Lucas. Enoch came running. I'm here. Look at that. In her mind. Enoch. Zaitin came flying in too. Marquis Bean dares to lay a hand on her. Ginny was floored. Zaitin as well. She panicked. What is happening? I only meant to call Lucas. All three charged toward her, faces like thunder. Where did those boys come from? Ben felt it. What is this all of a sudden? A hand closed around his throat. Arthur tightened his grip, eyes like ice. It's been a long time, Ben. I never imagined you'd have the nerve to touch my daughter. He trembled. We are not close enough for you to speak to me that way. Ginny watched from beside them, thinking. So Lucas and Bene know each other. But my father barely had any dealings with Bene. She jumped down from the table. I need to change the subject fast. She grabbed Loyan's skirt. Ginny only wanted to play with Loyan, and the Marquis kept interrupting. That creep. Bene protested. That was because I have to treat Loyan. The hand settled on his shoulder again. He clenched his teeth. Arthur's eyes were glacial. I told you not to trouble my daughter. Ben's skin crawled. That isn't even an aura. What is this terrifying sensation? He exhaled. It appears I have no other choice. He shook Arthur's hand off and turned away, still smiling. I'll come visit you again, Loyan. Then he threw one more line over his shoulder. And I'll see you again, little lady. Ginny watched him go. Still keeping up the act at this point. You've shown exactly what you are, villain. Ginny turned to Inuk and Zaitin. But what are you two doing here? I'm grateful you came to help, but don't you have anything better to do? Especially. She smiled. Inuk, I thought you were busy with sword practice. He faltered. Then he dragged Zayton away. I'm extremely busy. I was heading to training right now. You're coming with me, Zayton protested. I finished mine already. Arthur spoke up. I'll go speak with the Count again. The three of them left together. Sunlight spread across the garden. Loyan spoke softly. I was quite startled. Ginny laughed. Sorry about that. My father isn't usually like this. Then her voice turned serious. No, that isn't what startled me. Her eyes were full of sadness. Did you do that on purpose? Ginny stiffened, including breaking the extraction device. Wind moved through the trees. Loyan looked her straight in the eyes. I would like an explanation, my lady. Loyan is the child who will one day become a great mage. Even now she has a keen eye and a sharp mind. How could a child like that fail to see something wrong in Benny's treatment? If I want her trust, I have to be honest first. Ginny spoke softly. Actually, I came here to tell you the real cure. Loyan was lost. The real cure? Marquis Ben has been treating me all this time. Ginny thought, he's just a creep harvesting mana stones. I have to make her see clearly. Ginny spoke up. I'll show you what the real treatment looks like. How? She produced a red stone, using Inuk's summer aura stone. Thank you, brother. Loyan stared. A summer. Touch it once. Loyan reached out hesitantly. Her body shuddered. A sharp pain went through her. Ginny watched closely. An opposing element always meets resistance when it first enters the body, but if her illness really is mana stagnation, this is the only way. Not extraction the way Benny does it. Loyan's body slowly settled. Warmth returned to her eyes. Then she sank to her knees. Ginny ran to her. Someone as clever as you will feel the change immediately. Are you all right? Loyan understood at once. So a fire property aura stabilizes my mana. Once this dense current is held in check, the illness resolves on its own. Ginny was confident. Now you know the true cure. Stop letting Ben treat you. Loyan is brilliant. But she cut in. Even so. I still think Benne's method has some effect. Ginny understood. Of course. In pain every day with no cure in sight, the only thing left to hold on to is the man who looks like an expert. Bene stumbled onto the real cure and doles it out in fractions to keep her tied to him. Ginny said it plainly. Here is what I am certain of. Ben is shortening your life. He only wants to profit from you. Loyan clenched her hands, unwilling to believe it. My lady. Then she asked, How do you know all of this? Ginny answered, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. Loyan rose, her voice quiet. Then can you tell me why you're helping me? Ginny smiled warmly. Only because I don't want to see you ill. That's all. Loyan went very still. Then the little girl smiled to herself. Truthfully, the thing I want is in her father's hands. Every summer, the summer training in Odelta gathers the knights of every house, and at the Odelta training grounds, another major event officially begins. The sword tournament. Ginny climbed onto a chair, thrilled. This is the day I've been waiting for. Lolo fretted. My lady, that's dangerous. A foot stepped onto the platform. She looked up and froze. A tall, broad back spoke. She thought, how is that man still operating in the open? Bida's voice was severe. All who wish to enter the sword tournament step forward. Which proves Duke Zasorwi does not care in the slightest about his own son. Lolo held an umbrella over her. Are you hot, my lady? Ginny dropped into her chair. I'm dying of heat. She looked down and saw Zayton standing there. Zayton of House Zasorwi. Only 3 want to enter? But why don't I see Inuk? Lolo answered. Young Master Inuk went off toward the back garden a moment ago, my lady. The back garden? Did he go the wrong way? A garden thick with green. This morning he was still excited about the tournament. There's no way he ran. I have to find him before registration closes. Ginny walked and called, Inuk, where are you? She spotted a tuft of blonde hair behind a bush. Found him. She stepped over and crouched. What are you doing here? Inuk jumped. Ginny! He was crying and shaking his head. In any case, I can't compete in the tournament. She was alarmed. What? Where did that come from? Do you know how much work I put into forging you? He explained. His Majesty said that to assess a knight's adaptability, from the finals we'll be fighting aboard warships or down in the valley. She answered evenly. So? Inuk hesitated. What do you mean, so? Actually, His words hit Ginny like lightning. You're afraid of water. She went cold. Now I remember. What exactly was Inuk's role in the original? And what happened between him and Annette? His eyes brimmed. Inuk has aquaphobia. That's severe. In the story, the heroine simply flung the tea from her cup at him, and he fled in terror. And people still treated him as a villain who had it coming. She looked at him, her face darkening. Even as a tiny bit part, they turned him into a villain put in his place by a cup of tea. Absurd. Inuk spoke. What am I supposed to do, Ginny? Ginny steadied him. Don't panic. Inuk, listen carefully. With me, every problem has a solution. Don't worry, just go and register. He looked up. Really? In her head. Obviously I'm bluffing. Out loud. Trust me, Inuk. His eyes filled with hope. Then he smiled, warm as sunlight. All right, I trust Ginny. She looked at him a little helpless. Sometimes Inuk shines, exactly like sunlight. A voice rang out. You're late. Inuk of House Hanya. He brought Ginny along. I'm sorry, sir. I had something to say to my sister. Baida sneered. With that lazy attitude, don't dream of joining the Royal Knight Order. Ducal blood or not. Ginny burned. That bastard is starting again. But no matter how I turn it over, it makes no sense. However much Duke Zasorwi despises his son, he could not simply let this stand. Why has the man faced no punishment at all? Could Baida be doing more than selling aura stones to cover gambling debts? Ginny looked at him and made a promise. I will bring you down, soon. He turned and barked. In any case, from today I will be overseeing the tournament entrance. Inuk, you will follow Vice Captain Anello. Inuk's hand tightened around his sister's. One moment, sir. I would like to enter the tournament as well. Baida threw it back at him. Oh? I thought you were clever enough to know your own limits. He turned to walk off. Not everyone may enter the tournament, especially someone as young as you, Inuk answered. Zetan is my age and he is already competing. He went on. The tournament has no age limit. Knights who have joined an order are restricted from competing, which is precisely why I believe the tournament is a stage for someone like me. His voice dropped. How many more times must I tell you that you and Zetan are different? He glanced over at Zetan. Young or not, you must be able to raise an aura blade to enter. At 9, Zetan was already a genius who could do it. Zetan watched, thinking. At home, they don't treat me as human, and in front of all these eyes, the difference is night and day. But there was no denying Zetan was extraordinary. An aura blade is a technique that shapes a sword from the aura itself, not from steel. It demands exact control. It is the mark of a true knight. But Vice Captain Anello spoke to Baida. You have nothing to worry about, sir. The young Duke Zetan is exceptional. Baida was smug. Enough, Inuk. Stop measuring yourself against Zetan. Accept the limits of your talent. And in the boy's palm, a flame flared. Inuk raised a sword forged of aura. Ginny smiled. Everything Zetan can do, my brother can do now. Baida and Anello stared, open-mouthed. An aura blade. When did you learn that? Baida demanded. I never taught you that, he answered evenly. Does that matter, sir? Zetan looked on, openly impressed. Doing it without being taught makes him a genius among geniuses. Inuk. That was impressive. Ginny thought, give my boy proper support, and this is what he becomes. Inuk asked, is that enough to enter the sword tournament, sir? The man's face went stiff. Fine. He walked away and threw back one line. But don't get arrogant. Sunlight lay across the sea. The waves rolled in. He spoke suddenly. Ginny. He dropped to his knees in the sand and she jumped. Do you want to see the sea that badly? Ginny turned with a seashell in her hand. You've worked so hard lately. I wanted you to rest out here. He was uneasy. Are you sure you aren't planning to throw me in? She thought. Is he genuinely afraid of water? That's strange. He used to. She asked, and he went still. Inuk, you used to love the sea. He looked down, his voice heavy. That was a long time ago. She looked out at the water. Because the sea reminds him of Mother Noel? To me, she is a mother I have no memory of. For him, it's different. Noel's body has never been found, and the people of House Hanya have started to believe she may be alive. If Noel truly is alive, how do I find her when the original never mentions it? And if she is alive, the information is most likely in a side chapter, which means I need to collect the side chapters of every character. The way I learned Zaitan's training method. Though I don't know who they'll be or how to collect them. She stood up. I'm going down to the water for a bit. The tasks keep piling up. Inuk watched her go. 2 small feet ran toward the surf. First, I have to cure his fear of water. If a cup of tea frightens him, how enormous must the fear be standing this close to the sea? On the road behind them, a carriage stopped. Someone shouted, "Halt the carriage." This area is closed to the public. This beach belongs privately to the ducal house. Out on the sand, Ginny frowned. What is all that noise? Has someone come? That is the crest of House Bene. A figure stepped down. A chill ran through Ginny. What is that? This feeling? Who is he? Does House Bene have anyone who looks like that? She stared at the expressionless face descending from the carriage. Looking into that boy's shadowed eyes, Ginny thought, no. Has this face ever appeared in the original? Get away from my sister. Ginny was surprised. Senate, why are you in a Bene carriage? Senate crossed his arms. House Bene came looking for you. I rode along. Ginny relaxed. So they simply met on the road. The boy stepped closer and greeted her. Good day, young lady of House Hanya. Ginny clenched her fists and looked up. What do you want? He put a hand to his chest, courteous. I come by my father's order. Ginny thought, father? Marquis Ben? Does the Marquis have a son? From what I know, he runs the relief house because he has no heir. Is he really that man's son? The boy took another step. My father wishes to invite you to the relief ceremony. Ginny repeated it. The relief ceremony. He held out an invitation and bowed. Please accept this. His words and manner were flawlessly polite. But looking into his eyes, everything in Ginny recoiled. My experience from my past life and my instincts are both warning me of one thing. The boy in front of me is dangerous. One stepped forward, the other stepped back. In moments, they had reached deep water. Ginny looked down at her feet and startled. When did I get out this far? Suddenly, all the strength left her body and she fell backward. Enoch came sprinting from a distance. Ginny, careful. Ginny raised a hand, trying to call for help. The boy stood right in front of her, his face still perfectly blank. His lips moved around something. What did he just say? Did I mishear? At that exact moment, Senate's voice rang out. Ginny. He hauled her up. Are you all right? I'm fine, she thought. In a child's body, even shallow water like this can kill. In my past life, a swimming pool was nothing to me. Inside, she was grateful. Without Senate, I'd be finished. Beside her, Inuk was frantic. Ginny, are you all right? She reached toward him, smiling. I'm fine, Inuk. Senate saved me. And also. She took his hand and went on. Inuk waded into the water to save me too. Only then did Inuk look down at his own feet. He stammered, I actually. Staring at his feet submerged in the water, he lit up. I walked into the water. She smiled. You did. Ginny threw herself into his arms. Thank you, Inuk. He held her. Thank me for what? You're safe. That's all that matters. The boy stood watching the 3 siblings and gave a small smile. Senit turned back, killing intent flashing across his eyes. Without a word, he swung and struck the boy full in the face. The impact rang out. Both Ginny and Inuk cried out, Senit! The boy's head snapped sideways, one cheek reddening. He only asked one thing, why did you hit me? Senate seized his collar. You frightened my sister. The boy answered coldly. Let go of me. I did nothing to the young lady. Then he spoke again. Senate of House Hanya. From what I know, you are not a hot-tempered man. Senate snarled. Who are you to judge me? Held in Inuk's arms, Ginny thought, he's right. Senit is never like this. She said, Inuk, put me down. I have to stop this before it escalates. That's enough, Senate. She stepped over and took his hand. Are you angry for my sake? I really am fine. Then she spread her arms and smiled. I want to go home now. Come with me, Senate. She took stock. I've given Loyan the cure and secured a large sum from the Count. Inuk's registration and his fear of water are both handled. Nothing here ties me to Odelta anymore. And above all, she stroked her brother's forehead with one small hand and thought, I just want to get far away from that lunatic. She stole a glance at the boy. Earlier, watching me nearly drown, what did he say? The words came back to her. Humans really are fragile little things. She shivered. He definitely said that. Best not to get tangled up with a lunatic. Carried in Senate's arms, she turned. Let's go, Inuk. Looking at his figure left standing far behind, Ginny told herself, In any case, I'll never have to see him again. At the estate. Arthur sat in his chair. He asked, "And then what?" Then answered himself, "We file a protest, of course, not only occupying our land, but putting you in danger." She corrected him. "I wasn't attacked. I fell on my own." A voice came from outside. "House Benny has sent an invitation to the relief ceremony, my lord. How should I handle it?" Ginny startled. "That fast?" She gripped her skirt. "Every instinct says it's a trap. But I also have business at that relief house. If I prepare thoroughly, I might be able to turn the whole situation to my advantage." Ginny lifted her head and called out, "Bring me the invitation." Then she turned to her father. "Father, I'll attend the relief ceremony." Arthur was surprised. "You're going?" She stood and reassured him. "I've thought it through. Don't worry." Inside she thought, if I can get my hands on the most powerful weapon in the Ben house, this much danger is worth it. That night, at the estate, Ginny held the invitation, thinking, there isn't a single child among the great houses who could come with me. That party. Only the most exceptional receive an invitation. The relief ceremony, held once a year by Marquis Ben. She pressed her lips together. The man who runs the Bene Relief House, the largest orphanage in the empire. In the original, I never received this invitation at all. This is my chance. I'll pick my moment to rescue Seal's child, and to seize the ancient weapon inside the house of Marquis Ben. The night of the banquet. Ginny sat in the carriage looking out at the lavish party. The nobility has no shortage of talent. Look at them all gathered here. She stepped down slowly. Tonight it was Ginny alone. Enoch and Sinit were preparing for the tournament, and her father had been summoned to the palace. A servant fixed her dress. This works out better. With family along, I wouldn't be free to move. The party was decorated with lavish extravagance. Seela looked around. This place is like paradise. How lucky my child is to be here. Ginny thought. On the surface, it certainly looks that way. She walked in, counting under her breath. Aura stones and mana stones are worth a fortune, and they use them as garden ornaments. That is what money piled to the ceiling looks like. In truth, there are only two ways to obtain aura stones and mana stones. Mine them from natural deposits, or draw them out of a human body. Everyone believes Marquis Ben simply has extraordinary luck in finding magic stone deposits. But the way he actually gets them is by bleeding orphan children. She looked toward the distant tower. He locks away the children capable of producing magic stones and extracts from them until they die. Like something you use once and throw out. Sally said cheerfully. It's night and this place is still blazing with light. Watching her, Ginny's heart sank. Sally doesn't know the truth, which is why she gave them her child. Thankfully, her son is far too small for the Marquise to have touched. Around them, the guests were talking. This year's party is even bigger than last year's. They say the relief house produced a great many talents this year. One of them even took top marks in the aptitude examination. I'm considering that child as an attendant for my daughter. Ginny remembered. Right. Ben regularly places his most outstanding children into powerful households. So he builds a spotless reputation among the nobility without paying a single price for it. From behind her, someone called out, You've come, young lady of House Hanya. Ben smiled. I'm delighted to see you, my lady. Ginny turned and greeted him. Good evening, Marquise Ben. Inside her head, it was another matter. What is this? Suddenly acting like old friends. Have you forgotten I pulled your hair out? Everything this man does looks suspicious. He bent toward her. Our sweet little lady seems fond of books. Ginny looked down at the book in her hands. She hid it behind her back. Ah, yes. Inside, she thought. Will the book react the way it did with Zayton? Could Marquis Benet have a side chapter of his own? Seeing her reaction, he smiled. I see. He turned away, leaving one line behind. Enjoy the party, my lady. Ginny watched his back. Not the Marquise. There is someone in the side chapters I haven't identified yet. Her eyes swept the room. Among the main cast, who stands on Marquis Ben's side? She calculated, then ran. First follow the light. Selle called after her. Wait for me, my lady. Several children were seated at a banquet table. Loyan brightened at the sight of her. Lady Ginny is here? How did you know I was here, Ginny thought. So she's here. Then she answered. I was simply wandering and ended up here. The children stood one by one to greet her. I, madam, pay my respects to the lady of House Hanya. I, Fiat, greet the young lady. Ginny studied them. So the side chapter character is one of Loyan's friends? No, it isn't any of them. Ginny bowed back. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Please just call me Ginny. Then she waved. Ginny is busy right now. I'll see everyone later. The children watched her go. So adorable. Precious. She circled the hall, eyes moving everywhere. Then she saw a figure through the glass doors behind her. Ginny recognized that hair. Found you. She looked at the girl seated there and could not help admiring her. She's beautiful. She stood staring. Anyone with a side chapter must play some role in the original. Which character has an appearance like that? Ginny walked over and greeted her. Hello, I'm Ginny of House Hanya. The girl answered. Hello, young lady of House Hanya. She bowed her head. I am Belusi of House Benna. Ginny went numb. Belusi is the name of a villain. Looking at the beautiful girl in front of her, Ginny couldn't believe it. This beautiful. And the original doesn't spare her a single line. But if she has a side chapter, then Belusi really is a villain. She held the book out toward Belusi. Well then, one test settles it. The book fell open the instant it touched her hand. There it is. A reaction like that confirms it. At the back of the book, Belusi's side chapter. She was locked in a dungeon. A man walked in and said her name, Belusi. He reached out and touched her lips, his face full of lechery. You really are beautiful. Belusi shrank into a corner and bit her lip until it bled. Looking at the windowless wall, she thought. 16. I gave everything I had at this year's relief ceremony. I have to escape this place. And if I don't, one day I become the Marchioness Bene. Ginny recalled the plot. The previous Marchioness had been only 4 years older than Belusi and died inexplicably inside the estate. She had been locked in a room without a single ray of light, forbidden any contact with the outside. And she remembered Belusi's ending. To the Marquise, she was less a wife than a doll used to decorate a room. Living like a caged bird, she eventually destroyed her own beauty with her own hands. So the Marquis would stop wanting her. Belusi stood and folded her arms. If you have no business with me, please step aside. I still have guests to receive. Ginny fumbled. Yes, I'm sorry. Belusi brushed past her, thinking, this time without fail. This time there can be no mistakes. Ginny's eyes stayed on the book. What just happened is being written in as well. Why is this so different from Zaitan's side chapter? She traced back the original story. At the relief ceremony, Belusi made mistake after mistake under the pressure. In the end, she lost her chance to be taken in by a great house. And Belusi was dragged by the hair into the deepest, darkest part of the estate. Ginny stared at the book. What is this? Why is it showing me the future? Why is it so unlike Zaitan's chapter? The lines describing the future kept wavering, as though telling her this future had not yet been fixed. Ginny stood there, dazed. Is the book telling me to save Belusi? Sel came over. My lady. Steal a weapon. Rescue children from a relief house. Is that not already enough? And now I have to meddle in the affairs of a future Marchioness, though ruining Marquis Ben's plans does sound entertaining. Then she turned with a smile. Sel, did you bring everything I asked for? She smiled brightly. Yes, all of it. Then she scratched her head, sheepish. Oh, I forgot the dusty clothes. Ginny waved it off. It's fine. We'll smear mud on instead. She thought, thank goodness Father hasn't discovered the two of us creeping into Bene territory. With the Hanya guard shadowing me, I could accomplish nothing. Lucky that Loyan told my father her family would look after me. Thank you, Loyan, the girl smiled. Not at all. Night fell. Something rustled in the forest. Ginny turned, wearing a wig. Well? She turned so Sel could see. Nobody would take me for a noble lady like this, right? Seely held the dye bottle, anxious. This will wash out later, won't it? I prefer your real hair color. Ginny was exasperated. This isn't the time for that. We're going to find your child. She held up one finger. Sel, listen carefully. Our battle motto is, no entering the tiger's den, no taking the cub. Understood? You will abandon me at the relief house, then I go in alone and rescue the children. Are we clear? Seal's face fell. She murmured, It isn't abandoning. It's entrusting. The manager told me that if I work 100 days, they'll let me leave with my child. Her voice was sad. What if my child believes I abandoned him? Sally crouched and took Ginny's hand. If he thinks he was thrown away? The girl comforted her. Then you simply tell him he wasn't. He'll believe you. Inside, Ginny thought, if my mother had appeared in my past life and said that to me, I would have believed her too. Then she said quickly, I'm sorry, Sally. That was careless of me. Your child is waiting. Let's go find him. Sal lifted her head, sadness still in her eyes. Yes. Before an imposing door. Sally held the girl in her arms. I'm going in now. She stepped up and knocked lightly. Yu-heo turned, a candle in his hand. He looked at the child cradled in the woman's arms. Yu-heo spoke. What do you want? Ginny thought, he has a good voice and it's as dry as machinery. She looked at the boy before her. What is his name, I wonder? Sally explained. I've come to entrust my child. I believe she has the constitution of a magician. Yu-heo nodded. I see. Ginny exhaled. Thank goodness he doesn't recognize me. He stepped aside. Welcome to the relief house. Leave the child here, collect 1,000 gold over there, and go. Ginny was staggered. 1,000 gold. That is a commoner's living expenses for a full year. It is a great deal of money, and next to what Marquis Ben does to those children, it is nothing at all. The girl spoke up. Good evening, sir. Sel walked away, her eyes lingering. Ginny thought, it's only a staged abandonment, and seeing her like that still makes me angry on her behalf. Standing before the door, she told herself, this isn't the time for sympathy. The real work starts now. Yu-heo spoke, follow me. Walking behind him, she calculated, I need to extract as much information as possible. Let me try talking to him. Ginny took a step forward. What's your name? Yu-heo answered flatly. I don't have one. Watching him turn and walk on, she thought, no name? There's no such thing as a person without a name. He led her to a room. Yu-heo turned. You'll use this room for now. The Marquise is busy, so your assessment will be tomorrow afternoon. She repeated it. Assessment? The Marquis will evaluate whether you are useful. Ginny thought, and if I'm useless, I get sold as a slave. Then she asked, when do I get to meet the other children? Yu-heo looked at her, his voice bleak. Every child at the relief house is kept in isolation. There is no meeting anyone. Ginny yelped. What? Inside she panicked, then rescuing them becomes far harder. Yu-heo said, don't worry. After the assessment, a high rank earns dinner with the Marquis once a week. A low rank, once a month. Ginny cursed him inwardly. What would you know about what worries me? Walking into the room, she thought, dinner with Marquis Bene? I wouldn't take that once a century. The night sky was full of stars. Ginny crept along, scanning. By his account, this is only temporary lodging. In the original, the children are held in the basement. 2 tiny feet moved carefully over the tiles. I could use mana to locate the basement door, but thinning out the guard rotation takes time. In the dark corridor, there was only Ginny's small silhouette. Are the children controlled with a mana device? She stopped in front of an iron gate. A voice carried out. Number 137, alive. Number 151, alive. Ginny went rigid. That's his voice. Yu-heo was walking with Bene. He turned toward the cells. Number 168, absent. Ginny hid behind the wall. Bene is here too. He looked toward one cage. What happened to 168? Yu-heo answered evenly. A complication during mana stone extraction, sir. Ben frowned. Then we'll be short. His Majesty demands magic stones to break the walls of Tuhao. We need to freeze the ramparts where the enemy is entrenched. The boy looked up at that tall figure and listened to him complain. Yu-heo answered without hesitation. I will make up the shortfall myself, sir. Ginny startled. What? He intends to use his own body to fill the gap? Does he not know what extraction does? Ben brightened at that. Thank you. He ruffled the boy's hair with a gentle smile. You truly are the most precious child in my relief house. Yu-heo let him do it without showing a flicker of emotion. The children in the cages watched with envy in their eyes. One clung to the bars and muttered, I'm jealous. Ginny looked at those eyes and ached. There is no mana device anywhere. So what does Bene use to control them? What that boy fears is not the whip, it's loneliness. The reason this place isolates the children is to make them hunger for affection. Lonely children will crave a guardian's love, even a love that exists in name only. In my past life, I was the same. Ginny shook her head hard to clear it. Stop. This is not the moment to dwell on old wounds. She refocused. There are no infants here. The younger ones must be a floor below. Ginny felt her way down a pitch-black staircase. First, find Seely's child. In the next corridor, she could already hear children sobbing. She peered inside. This must be the infant floor. 2 long rows of cribs. Every child was screaming. All this crying and not one adult to soothe them. With this many babies, how do I find Seely's? One blonde infant was crying with its eyes squeezed shut, a birthmark on its cheek. Ginny remembered Seely's words. My child has a heart-shaped mark on his cheek. She ran to that crib, a heart-shaped mark, found him. 2 small hands reached out to lift the baby. You're Seal's child, aren't you? At that exact moment, Benny pushed the door open, still calling back over his shoulder. Can you manage it alone? She dove for cover, but Yuheo had already spotted her. Ginny cursed. That startled me. There's a door on that side too? His face was as calm as if he had seen nothing. Yes, my lord. I'll report when the extraction is complete. He glanced at the obedient boy, greed plain in his eyes. Good. When the relief ceremony ends, bring the ones you selected today to dinner with me. Yuheo bowed respectfully. Thank you, sir. Hidden in the dark, Ginny's eyes followed him. Dinner. Is he really going to extract his own mana? She closed her eyes and told herself, even a small extraction is agony, but there's nothing I can do. He wants this. That's right, it has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me, nothing at all. And then she was on her feet. Oh, for heaven's sake, I'm in enough danger already. Why should I go save a stranger? I've caught it from House Hanya. From father, most of all, that habit of minding everyone else's business. She leaned over the crib and spoke to the blonde baby. Little one, wait a while longer. I promise I'll get you back to your mother. Dawn broke. In the heart of the relief house, Yuheo had sealed himself inside a transparent chamber. His face was contorted with pain, his body buckling. Ginny ran at full speed. He started already? Extracting that much mana is not survivable. She pictured his agonized face. He means to extract enough mana for the entire siege. However much mana a body holds, an extraction that size is suicide. Blood ran down his arm and dripped to the floor. Ginny's chest twisted. His body can't take any more. Without thinking, she reached for the glass. A current threw her hand back. Ginny clutched her arm, face twisting. A spark flared where the burn was. Ordinary methods won't work. This calls for mana. Ginny's small fist flew and shattered the glass. Stop destroying yourself. The pain stopped. Yuheo slowly came around, seemingly unaware of what had happened. He looked up at the person in front of him with hollow eyes. The little girl stood there like a hero. Yuheo was stunned. You. But his next words ruined the moment entirely. You broke the extractor. Ginny nearly choked. Is that really the issue right now? I risked everything to save you. She said it plainly. Forcing out magic stones shortens your life. Do that, and you die. Yuheo didn't blink. I know. She stared. What? You know and you did it anyway. All for Ben? Then came a silence. I have no wish to entangle myself with a person the original doesn't even mention. And yet I can't look away. In my past life, I did everything my foster father asked, just to be loved a little more. But being born under the roof of House Hanya taught me that a real guardian never exploits a child like that. He needs to learn that too. And with that thought, Ginny's small mouth opened. I will save you. Yuheo went blank. Those blue irises shook. He couldn't take it in. You said you would save me? She answered firmly. Yes. Ginny planted one hand on her hip and held out the other. You are getting out of this wretched place, with me. She slipped a bracelet onto his wrist. I prepared this just in case. This will hide you. He turned the bracelet over. How does she understand what I carry? Ginny pushed him along. There isn't much time. We have to move. I have the layout of the relief house and the location of every child. But the infants can't walk on their own. And some of them won't listen to me, so getting all of them out will be very hard. One tall figure and one small one moved down the corridor. If only there were someone who could command the children here. She snapped upright and turned to look at Yuheo. That person will absolutely help me. Ginny brightened. Do you know where Belusi is? His face did not change. Yes, I'll show you. Inside the grand estate, silence and darkness. Then a crash tore through it. A porcelain cup hit the floor and shattered. Belusi stood with the tray in her hands, eyes wide with horror. Ben's voice came, dripping with mockery. Would you look at that? He rubbed his chin and smirked. It seems Belusi doesn't want to leave the relief house after all. She was shaking so hard she couldn't hold the tray steady. No. Belusi turned to look at him as though facing a nightmare. I hate this place. You are the one who wants me to stay. The other ladies began to talk. A woman with violet hair frowned. Why is the girl so clumsy? Another agreed. That clumsy isn't an accident, it's her ability. She frowned harder. All appearance and nothing else. Pretty in a dress, but I can't take home a girl with no skill. Belusi went numb. No, this was my last chance. Then she found a way out. Of course, that lady is famously miserly. She works servants to the bone for almost nothing. Belusi knelt before her. My lady, I was unwell today, and that is all. Dropping the teacup and stepping on your hem were nothing but accidents. She debased herself as far as she could go. I eat very little and cost almost nothing. I can serve you day and night. Inside, she thought, even being that woman's slave is far better than becoming Marchioness Ben. The violet-haired lady wavered. That isn't bad. Very well, I'll take her. Ben, sitting beside her, went tense. You intend to take Belusi, my lady? She got to the point. I'm considering it. What must I pay the relief house to take her? He smiled thinly. Payment? The relief house only ever accepts donations. She blinked. Ah, yes. A donation. How much? Ben named an absurd figure without blinking. 5,000 gold. She startled. 5,000 gold? The donation for the examination's top scorer was only 1,000. Belusi knelt there, numb. He continued. Belusi teaches the children here. If you take her, I must hire a tutor to replace her, and tutors' wages have risen sharply of late. She knew perfectly well 5,000 gold was outrageous. It was 5 years of a commoner's living costs. Belusi broke. You promised. You promised me my freedom, so I studied without sleeping. I trained myself half to death. And in the end, I'm still locked in a room and treated as less than human. She understood. So all the years I was never taken in, it was him. Belusi swallowed her tears, looked up at him, and hissed, You liar. Ben raised his hands. Belusi is rather sensitive, so she's lost her composure. The lady covered her mouth. Good heavens! Then I certainly can't take her. He feigned reluctance. Then we shall keep her at the relief house. What a shame. Belusi buried her face and sobbed. It's all ruined. Was it because I never made a single mistake in practice that it came to this? A child's voice tore through the suffocating air. So this is where Belusi is. Ginny came running, restored to a proper little noblewoman. What is everyone doing here? Sale had tidied her up in time. Belusi looked at her, stunned, her tear-streaked face too late to hide. Ginny stepped forward, resolute. This is exactly the scene from the side chapter. I will not let this play out the way the original wrote it. The people at the table rose and bowed. Good evening, young lady of House Hanya. We are assessing Belusi's abilities. The little girl trotted over. May I look? Ginny read the paper on the table and exclaimed, Oh, Belusi scored 97. That's excellent. So why is she crying? The violet-haired lady feigned regret. Because it isn't a perfect score. To serve a noble house, one must be flawless. And Belusi made a mistake. She broke a teacup. The girl glanced at the black inkwell on the table. She made a mistake? And then Ginny knocked the inkwell flying. Ink splattered across Benny's face. She feigned horror. Oh, my lord, I only meant to touch it and my hand slipped. I'm so sorry. He scowled, plainly humiliated by a child. What? Ginny's voice was gentle, but it was aimed at Belusi. My father says making mistakes is perfectly fine. Every child grows through them. She turned and smiled kindly at her. You don't have to be perfect. My father said so. Belusi froze. Her wide eyes trembled. Ginny turned to Ben. If nobody will take Belusi, then I will. He wiped his face and answered. You intend to employ Belusi, my lady? Ben sneered. Do you even have 5,000 gold? The little girl pulled out a rabbit-shaped coin purse. Of course I do. Ginny beamed at him like a slap across the face. Ginny is a duke's daughter, after all. Then she needled him. Marquis, everything out of your mouth is about money. For a nobleman, you seem rather poor. Bene was speechless. What did you say? Ginny played pitiful. Ah, is that why you gather up children to sell? She knew perfectly well. House Ben earns everything through crime, so they are certainly richer than mine, but truth hardly matters right now. What matters is exposing him. Ben faltered. What are you talking about, my lady? The girl turned away, feigning distaste. This relief ceremony isn't enjoyable at all. Ginny is going home. I can't stomach the atmosphere. Ginny looked at Belusi, still on her knees. What are you doing down there, Belusi? A tiny hand reached toward her. Let's get out of here. Belusi wept again, but this time they were tears of joy. I will never forget this debt as long as I live. Young lady of House Hanya. And so the two of them walked out of that cold-blooded room hand in hand. Benny had lost a piece and would not accept it. Wait, the violet-haired lady rounded on him. Then show me another. Or do you no longer need donations? She made her contempt plain. A waste of time, all of it. Benny could only swallow it. My apologies, my lady. I'll arrange the next child. No, I won't do it. Ginny pushed. You said you'd do anything for me, Belusi. She objected. I did not. I said I'd never forget the debt. The little girl picked up a dry branch, resigned. I'll explain it one last time, so think it over. On the ground were rough sketches of the plan. What we are about to do is this. Without the ancient weapon of A, the kingdom of magic erased after its war with the Empire, House Bin would be nothing but a poor family with no claim to great nobility. So all we have to do is take the weapon and destroy the relief house. And the Marquis loses his power entirely and falls. Ben is obsessed with that boy and with Belusi. If I don't crush him now, there's no telling what he'll do to take those children back. Ginny glanced at Yuheo, sitting under a tree, which is why we take the weapon during the relief ceremony, while his attention is elsewhere. Belusi knelt to her eye level. How do you intend to find the ancient weapon, my lady? Ginny rubbed her forehead. The invisibility won't last much longer. We need to move. Belusi put a hand to her chest, anxious. The Marquis treats it as a treasure. Not even the children of the relief house have ever laid eyes on it. Inside, she thought, I'm grateful you gave me work, but stealing a weapon terrifies me. I don't want to die. Ginny looked at the book, resigned. Those are her exact lines from the side chapter. So Belusi is both careful and easily frightened. Ginny closed the book. Belusi, do you know how the children at the relief house end up? She stopped short. Ginny hugged the book to her chest and went on. You're perceptive. I'm sure you've guessed some of it. She ground her teeth, refusing to accept it. The Marquis truly kills them? He kills the children? Ginny didn't soften it. Yes. The lives of the relief house children are one long chain of extractions. When their mana runs dry, they die a miserable death. Belusi couldn't believe it. But there are so many children there. How could that many die without anyone knowing what he does? Ginny fell silent, head slightly bowed. Then she said the brutal truth aloud. Because those children have no guardian. They are all defenseless. Without an adult to protect them, their lives can only be this wretched. Belusi seemed to make up her mind. All I have to do is gather the children and get them out, correct? Ginny was faintly surprised. Yes. Actually, I think I know where the weapon is. She divided the tasks. While Sale and I steal the weapon, Belusi leads the children out. She bowed her head. Understood. Signal me once you're ready. Ginny nodded. I will. I'll blow a whistle. Inside, she thought, this time, my father must not catch wind of it. With that settled, she walked to the tree where Yuheo sat. You're coming with me. He looked up. I'm coming too? She looked him straight in the eye. You know the layout of the estate by heart, so I need you. From now on, we're going to tear the relief house apart. Yuheo rose slowly. Perhaps the time has come. Ginny didn't follow. Time for what? What do you mean? But he turned away. I'll lead you into the estate. She scowled. Why does he keep dodging me? Night fell. The white estate stood tall and magnificent. 3 figures, Yuheo, Ginny, and Sele, slipped inside. The original has a passage describing Bene's study. There is a hidden room there that the Marquis uses as a vault. A country whose magic was advanced enough to earn it the name Kingdom of Magic. where craftsmen poured their souls into weapons made to defend their homeland. It must be hidden there. Yuheo stopped and raised a hand. This is the Marquis's study. Ginny startled. What? That is the entrance to a study? The door was not grim at all, but gleaming and enormous. She stared. How do I even open this? If I force it, every guard in the building comes. With the weapon in hand, I could beat every knight in this house. Without it, being caught is far too dangerous. A figure stepped past her, cutting her thoughts short. Wait. Sel? What are you doing? The delicate golden lock sprang open. Seal turned and smiled, her hairpin still in her hand. I opened the door, my lady. You said we have no time. We should hurry. Ginny gaped. You just... That can't be. Hold on. They pressed on without pausing. Sele? Aren't you a wanderer? She showed no shame about her past. Yes. Every wanderer knows how to do this. Ginny thought. Why is that so unlike the wanderers I know of? She looked around the study and made a small sound. The original says this. In front of a desk carved with a fir tree, the emblem of House Ben, hangs the portrait of the first emperor of Ulin, the man who trampled the people of A. She looked up. The place where Inet stumbled onto the weapon is behind that portrait. The first emperor of Ulin had light brown hair like Inet's and eyes as green as a summer leaf. He destroyed AI and scrubbed it from history. If Inet had not found a classified document in the royal library, nobody would know AA had ever existed. She took hold of the cord beside the portrait. If it weren't for the weapon, none of that history would concern me. She pulled. The painting shifted. The weapon Inet found was shaped like a staff, so it shouldn't be hard to spot. The hidden door behind the painting opened. Ginny stopped dead. This is... Inside was every kind of weapon imaginable. Guns, swords, spears, shields, throwing knives. Not a vault of gold. An armory. Ginny stepped in, her eyes blazing. Rifles, a revolver, even something that looks like a carbine. Then one gun struck her like a treasure. That has to be a bazooka. She stared at it, enchanted. Marquis Ben has always allied himself with the coming rebellion. I knew he was developing weapons that use magic stones instead of gunpowder. But I never expected them to look exactly like the weapons I once carried. Seal asked, What shape is the weapon you're looking for, my lady? Ginny stood and turned away. I don't see anything shaped like a staff. We may have to keep looking. A sound made her turn. A gun came into view. Yuheo walked over holding it. If you want to destroy the relief house, stealing the weapon isn't enough. It must be completely destroyed. He held the gun out to Ginny. Kill me. She stared at it, stunned. What? He dropped to one knee and bowed his head. My name is Yuheo van Vongse. Then he looked up at her. The last king of A. And the thing you are looking for. The weapon the Empire seized. The boy king of A, they called him that because he took the throne at 6. The royal family and the nobles hollowed out the kingdom of Ai with corruption and embezzlement. Then they pushed the throne onto a child to shed the responsibility. When he was 8, the war came. The kingdom was crushed by the empire without the strength to resist. The royals and nobles who had betrayed the kingdom fled first. They left him alone in a vast palace to receive the imperial army. In the great hall, he sat alone on the throne. Facing him was a swordsman. Are you the last king of Ai? He was calm, perhaps because he knew resistance was pointless. I am. His country destroyed. His parents and siblings turned away. He sat holding his crown, his face unmoved. End me and I together. But the swordsman only smiled and made no move. He was confused. What is this? You don't want my head? He had no fear of death at all. But what the swordsman said next left him hollow. Your father feared death, so he gave us the secret. Yuheo's eyes went wide. From now on, you are no longer a person. You are a weapon in the Empire's hand, forever. That was the thing he feared. Ginny clutched her head, her small face screwing up. What is happening? The contents of the book are pouring straight into my mind. Those images are making me dizzy. Sel ran over, alarmed. My lady, what's wrong? The girl held her head, face bone white. For some reason, the book showed me his past. Then he truly is. The legendary weapon of Ai. He is a magical genius of a kind that appears once in 1,000 years, born of the kingdom of Ai. Inside his body are the souls of 12 guardian gods. The king of Ai, his own father, experimented on his son and turned him into a weapon. Then the father grew afraid of his son's power. In the end, he cast away both the boy and a kingdom that had no way out. But he was captured by the Imperial Army and traded the secret for his own life. Ginny's lip curled in disgust, using his own child as an object, and then selling him to the enemy. The supreme commander of the war between Ai and Ulan was Marquis Bene, the man who gave the order to turn a boy into the weapon that drowned a nation. From then on came endless days of agony under mana extraction, and dying and being revived 100 times over whenever the Empire went to war. And still he had to live, until the current inside him ran completely dry. Yu-Hyo stepped closer. Are you all right? Ginny lowered her hands. I should be asking you that. He was quiet for a moment, then answered, I'm fine. It's almost over anyway. Which means the 12 souls inside him are nearly spent. Held up by Seelie, Ginny looked at her own palms. How can he be fine? After a life like that, how can anyone be fine? Yu-Hyo pressed the gun into her small hands. If the Marquis learns you know my secret, he will activate me. He knelt on one knee before her, calm. So before that happens, you must kill me quickly. Ginny let the gun fall to the floor. I don't want to. How could I? Yu-Hyo looked at her. You can, because you are like me. Ginny blinked. Like you? Then boots came clattering down the corridor. Well, well. Ben entered with soldiers and leaned against the wall. Who is skulking around like rats? He folded his arms. So it's you, Lady Ginny. Ginny gripped her necklace. That was fast. I thought having the weapon would solve everything. But there's no other way. While Benny's attention is all on me, I hope the children get out. Below, a crowd of children came pouring outside. Benny startled. How did those children get out? A child's excited voice rang out. They said my parents came for me. The children clamored. Really? But Lucy told me my mother came. Mine too, my family came to fetch me. He rushed to the window and looked down. But Lucy, what are you doing out there? Standing below, she raised her hand and gave him a very rude gesture. He spun back. So this is your doing as well, Lady Ginny? And here I thought you were formidable. You're simply insane. How did you manipulate them? Ginny folded her arms. Manipulate? I'm not you. Isn't it obvious? But Lucy lied and told them their parents had come. They'll be disappointed when they learn the truth. But that beats staying in this hell. The little girl faced him without flinching. The whole world will know what you have been doing, and you will be punished for it. He was arrogant and entirely unafraid. Who could possibly punish me? The Bene Relief House is under the Emperor's personal patronage. Ginny went cold. In the original, the Emperor helped destroy the Relief House when Annette asked him to, so he knew exactly what it was all along. And for his beloved daughter, he pretended otherwise. A hypocrite through and through. He reached into his coat. Very well. We'll play however you like. From inside it, he drew an hourglass and a short blade. All the children of the Relief House together are not worth the magic stones I could take from you. Ginny recognized it. That's it. The shape of the ancient weapon described in the original. But wait, could it be? He roared, his face savage. Seize that girl at once, I command you, Yu-Hyo. Ginny cut her eyes to him. That thing can control Yu-Hyo? He clutched his chest, his slim back bowing. Then he crumpled. You, kill me. He forced the words through his teeth. Before I hurt you. Ginny looked at him, her small face full of fear. His face was bloodless, pleading, kill me now, please. Something tangled and painful moved through Ginny's chest. She walked slowly toward him and spoke firm. I'm sorry. He froze. I am not going to kill you. She stood there like a stone. Because I know exactly what it feels like to be used and then thrown away. Yu-Hyo still couldn't believe it, his eyes trembling. I can't let the person standing in front of me end up as wretched as I have. Ben watched, baffled. What is wrong with him? He lost his composure and screamed. That doesn't matter. What are you all doing? Kill those wretches. Seal's eyes sharpened. Ginny turned serious. Sel, use the artifact I gave you and get out through the window. I can defend myself. She refused instantly. What? How could I leave you here alone? Ginny's voice went urgent. Just get out. Hurry. Sally spun and ran in the opposite direction. Wait, Sel. Ginny's face changed. The window is this way. Why is she going that way? A terrible feeling rose. Sel, don't. That way is. A soldier appeared and leveled a blade at her. Sel. She stopped where she stood. The smell of blood flooded the space. Ginny couldn't believe her eyes. What is this? Sally had gone down under a single stroke. What is happening here? Back to reality. She was standing tall in front of two soldiers. What on earth is going on? Sel tightened her grip on her weapon. The men stood frozen, not yet understanding. She dropped into a stance, her eyes steady. Sel drove a kick into one soldier with everything she had, then dropped the other just as cleanly. Every drop of color left Ginny's face. What in the world is happening here? Seal's back carried a heavy killing intent. Seal. She turned perfectly composed. What is it? Sally answered without hesitation. A wanderer. I'm a wanderer, so I can do this. Ginny stood there, stunned. Would someone please define for me what a wanderer is in this world? At that moment, Ben rushed in. What is this? His eyes darkened with fury. Useless, all of them. His mouth twisted into something manic. Only you are left. Yu-Heo. He shouted at him. What has that girl done to you? I am the one who raised you, who kept you alive when your own father threw you away. You owe me, you ungrateful monster. Yu-Heo's face went white. Get out. That is an order. I can't. Kill those insane wretches. Yu-Heo! His voice dropped, desperate. I can't endure anymore. Please, kill me. The girl answered without wavering. I already told you I will not kill you. Her face was serious to the point of unshakable. I mean it. Yu-Heo's eyes wavered. He faltered, no. The little girl turned to Ben, unafraid. The thing I need to remove is the monster who demands gratitude from a child. A chill crawled up his spine. His eyes went wild. Do you have any idea what you are pointing at whom? Ginny answered flatly. A weapon I upgraded myself, he sneered. And you imagine an ignorant child like you can use it? Ben stopped short as killing intent cut past him. He staggered back, his voice shaking. What? How does a brat like you know how to use my weapon? She thought. I don't. I pulled the trigger because it looked like a gun. Is it made of magic stone? It's bright, and there's no recoil. Ginny's eyes hardened. This is no time to wonder about that. Your head is next. Benny. His face went ashen with rage. You insolent little. He clamped a hand over the wound and ground out. What do you want? She hesitated a beat. What do I want? The room went quiet. She raised a contract. Here, sign it. He sank to his knees, hesitant. I only need to promise never to seek out orphans again, correct? Ginny's jaw tightened. Ben. Her voice dropped, heavy with authority. That goes without saying. The contract stipulates that you transfer every asset earned through the orphanage to me. Sele clapped. Our young lady is so merciful that she's letting you walk away with nothing worse than this contract. He clenched the paper, swallowing his fury. His face drained of color. Sign it quickly, Bene, he answered flatly. Understood. The signature appeared clearly on the page. Ginny's mouth curved with satisfaction. Good. With this, Ben can never go near an orphanage again. And these assets are far more than enough to care for those children and fund every plan I have. But his eyes went red and wild. He sprang up, a knife clenched in his fist. You stupid girl. You didn't even notice you fired your last shot. Ginny went cold. Oh no. How did I forget to count my rounds? He declared it, half mad. I'll be taking that contract back. Die, you deranged rat. Ginny shut her eyes, too slow to react. Too late to run. At least I got the weapon. The knife point drove toward her. He is the worst thug in a duchess's rosy life. There is no way he goes down that easily. Sally lunged. My lady, too late. She can't dodge in time. Ginny kept her eyes shut, helpless. I didn't know he was carrying a weapon. And then the space fell strangely silent. Her eyes flickered, this black aura. Her expression shifted in shock. It couldn't be. Lucas appeared and finished Bene with a single stroke. This place isn't very clean, is it? Ginny stopped short. Father. She couldn't believe her eyes. How did Father get here? Spirit energy still hung in the air. It is unmistakably my father's aura, and still something feels wrong. She stared at the body on the floor. Bean is dead. My father does not kill like this, so this is. Lucas stopped as Ginny raised her voice. Lucas. She spoke quickly. You're in there, aren't you? What happens if that body gets injured? And you cannot use aura like this. It makes me feel appalling. He was unbothered. Is there a problem? Ginny snapped. The problem is that you are wearing my father's body. Who are you to kill the greatest villain of the original with one swing? She kept going, her words like knives. The head of one of the most powerful houses in the empire just died. The crown will open an investigation immediately, you fool. What if my family is put in danger? Did he not deserve to die? Nobody will hold a funeral for that useless corpse. Ginny's face darkened. That's true, but did you have to put it like that? The two were speaking through magic, so Sale heard nothing. Ginny felt the ground shifting. This has gone too far. What do I do now? Actually, there is one way to keep the crown off us. All right, let's finish this. A moment later, flames rose as though to burn away everything. Hurried footsteps rang out. Ginny came closer. How did you know about this place? He stayed calm. Your mana was in chaos. It woke me. And then things went as you see. She groaned inwardly. Would you please stop using my father's body? So you came here to save me? Lucas answered without hesitating. Yes. His voice dropped. Without your mana, this body will be paralyzed entirely. So I have to keep you alive. She gave a thin smile. Right. I asked a pointless question. My apologies. Something wavered in her eyes, as though she had lost something. She sighed quietly. Then she looked around. That boy is gone. Because he wants to be strong. I have to die. I have to die. His thoughts are coming through to me by way of the bracelet. Even with Bene dead, he still wants to die? Are you tired of a life with no flavor at all? No sorrow? No happiness? Ginny's fists tightened. You cannot even take revenge with your own hands, and you'd end it like this? That is a meaningless, pitiful ending, and because I once lived it, I absolutely cannot leave him alone. She spoke decisively. Lucas, there is something else I need to do. Will you help? He was unmoved. And what are you planning? Ginny walked quietly toward the cannon. She lifted it, delighted. Now help me make this thing explode. It's going to be fun. Lucas sighed. I have no idea what goes on in your head. Then he swept her up into his arms. Truthfully, I rather enjoy this sort of unhinged idea. Ginny found it strange. Lucas can find it entertaining. If it were my father, he would never go along with something this insane. A moment later, the two of them stood on a rooftop, looking out at the town at night. Will this spot do? Ginny hoisted the cannon. Good, very good, now get ready. By now, Sele must be far away from here with Belusi and the children. Lucas was uneasy. Do you actually know how to use that? Her eyes were steady. I've handled something similar before, but this one has magic rounds inside. All you have to do is push your mana to its limit and fire. The barrel began to glow. Ginny's voice dropped. Lucas, do you know something? What now? She declared it flatly. If not a scrap of evidence remains at the scene, then it's a perfect murder. The corner of Lucas's mouth lifted. I knew it. Ginny's eyes hardened. All right, farewell, you lovely fat house. The cannon fired. Flames rose as though to swallow the entire castle. Ginny was astonished. That really is destructive. But releasing this much mana is draining my consciousness. I have to move before I black out. She turned and announced it. On to the next location, Lucas. He hesitated. To that place? Night fell. The old castle stood under the moon. I found him. More accurately, the bracelet led me to him. Ginny looked at Yuheo, collapsed on the ground. Is he sitting here because he no longer has the strength to run? He stiffened at her quiet voice. There you are. Yuhio's eyes fell. I'm useless now. Why did you still come looking for me? Ginny spoke slowly. With the staff, I can feel what you're thinking. He answered. And you're thinking of using me. His voice was heavy. Even if you use the staff, there is nothing left you can do with me. Her eyes went straight to the extractor in his hand. There's even a little food. He's planning to wring out the last of his life. Stop this. She was firm. Let me. No. He can change his mind. He stopped short at the sincerity in her voice. If I wanted to use the staff on you, I would have summoned you long ago. The extractor dropped to the ground, instead of trekking all the way out here myself. His eyes wavered as he looked down at his own body. Yuheo lowered his head, hesitant. I wasn't going to use it anymore. His vision blurred and his steps faltered. Ginny hurried over. Are you all right? Do you feel any better? She rose onto her toes. Her voice softened. You've been through so much. Think about it. He walked through all those years alone in this small, fragile body. My past life was short, and even so, that pain and that loneliness are things I never want to face again. So how much has he carried? He froze when her small hand settled on his head. Yuhio's eyes lowered. Not at all. I was built as a weapon, designed not to feel pain. She comforted him gently. Not feeling pain doesn't mean it isn't hard. Loneliness hurts too. He was still sunk in guilt. I have no right to feel those things. Because of me, a great many people were wounded and killed. I have to pay for what I am. That is why I'm dying. Ginny's voice was resolute. You were used by House Ben. I have to stop him. But what do I do? She kept going. You haven't even had the chance to grow up. Aren't you curious about the future? Yuhio was hopeless. I don't want to be an adult. I have no hope for any future. His vision was dimming. My lady, I'll say it once more. Yuhio spoke without a moment's hesitation. Right now, all I want is to die. Ginny faltered. He cut her off, exhausted. Enough. His face was ashen. Please leave me alone. Please, I'm begging you, my lady. He is like me, so I cannot leave him alone. Because I am living in the present. My memories of my past life were washed away by the love of the people of House Hanya. Her eyes darkened. Can I make him want to live? Then her voice came, full of sincerity. I will love you. Yuhio's eyes flew open. He was shaken. What did you just say? Ginny put a hand to her chest. More than anyone on this earth. Her face was resolute. I will treasure you and love you most. His eyes trembled. Ginny stepped closer. Every year of affection you should have received, I will give you. The way the people of House Hanya gave it to me. She said it word by word, so don't die. He stopped short, doubt in his eyes. What? Yuhio shut his eyes and told himself, I must not be moved. He could not escape the guilt. I have no value left. Ginny called after him. Where are you going? He turned and walked away. Don't follow me. He tucked himself into a dark corner. Nobody needs something useless. Then a small figure appeared. Her eyes lit up. Found you again? The corner of Ginny's mouth curled. You aren't very good at hide and seek. Yuhio looked at those eyes searching for him. Why do I feel like I'm about to cry? That evening, Ginny and Yuhio walked out together. She shook her head and sighed. Belusi got out with the children. Bene is dead. It's all over, isn't it? Then Ginny noticed something. What? The book is signaling again. Another story about Belusi has just been added. Exactly as I predicted. The moment she left that place, the future changed. But wait, what is this? Is it really over? The estate was engulfed in flame. Ginny shouted, Father! She ran to him. You can cast protective magic, can't you? He was surprised. I can. Why? She answered. I want to look into the hidden room Bene used. Inside, she thought. The book says old records of the magic stone trade are in there. They have to be important. If I tell him the truth, he'll be suspicious. I need to go in for a moment. Arthur raised an eyebrow. You want to walk into that fire? It's dangerous. Shall I go in your place? Where is it? Ginny shook her head. No, you would never find it. She thought, the entrance to the hidden room is described in the Belusi side chapter. It's a small hole only a child Inet's size could fit through. And rather than explaining everything in detail, it's faster to run in and back out. The girl looked up at her father with shining eyes. Do you trust me? I trust you completely, which is why I asked for your help. It will only take a moment. I'll be fine. Don't worry. Arthur was helpless. That isn't the point. She raised her voice. It is the point. He sighed. You are stubborn, like me. Then he cast the spell over her. A current of magic wrapped around Ginny. It's cold. She thought it over. He raised an entire shield of ice? This is what people mean by a true mage. Of course he was once a king. None of this should be surprising. Arthur folded his arms. Be quick. Mana cast from a distance won't hold long. In the cellar of the Bene estate. Ginny brightened. Here it is. The small hole Inet found. She squeezed through. It's unbelievably narrow. Then Ginny stopped. I can't believe this. She looked around. The estate burned to the ground and this room is untouched. Something must be protecting it. I can't believe how much gold is scattered across this floor. And this place is genuinely enormous. Should I take a little home to admire? Nobody would know. She rummaged through the shelves. Here. All the important records I was looking for. With that done, she started back. Right. Now I return to Lucas and invent a story. My mana and my endurance are both spent. Then a sound stopped her. Did I imagine that? She decided to search. There is no possible way a child is in a place like this. And then she found one, astonished. Why? Why is there a newborn here? And this cradle keeps drawing mana out. I have to get this child out. Ginny lifted the baby and checked. The heartbeat is very weak. He must be too small. She ran with the child in her arms. I've saved so many children already. There's no reason to leave this one behind. Carrying the baby, she looked around. Oh no, I've lost my bearings. Which way is Lucas? She shouted. Where are you, Lucas? Then Ginny stopped. Red hair. Then that person is. Zayton came running. Are you all right? Why did you come out of there? I've been looking for you. You weren't at the party or anywhere else. Ginny was frantic. We have to get this baby to a doctor immediately. Call a carriage. Hurry. Zayton faltered. The child. She cut him off. There's no time to explain. He said her name. Ginny. That child. Is already dead. I can't feel any mana or any energy at all. It's too late. It really is too late. Ginny couldn't stand and sank to the ground. That can't be. If I try hard enough, can I really change the future? I thought I could rewrite this fate. I thought I could save every orphaned child. She wept and blamed herself. But why? I could have saved him. If only I had realized sooner. Zayton reached out. Ginny. But she was still reeling. If I had come a little earlier, I could have saved him. And this child would not have had to die. Then she went limp and collapsed. Zayton panicked. Ginny. Zayton was stunned. You're telling me she's only sleeping? Arthur answered. Yes. Children tire and drop off in an instant. Zayton stumbled over it. So she's... The boy still didn't follow. Doesn't she realize she's a child herself? Who risks their own life to save someone they only just met? Arthur was quiet a moment. In any case, thank you for finding my daughter. The boy answered, No, there's no need, sir. Then he thought further. Standing before someone who saved that many children. What have I ever done? Plenty of high nobles doubted Ben's claims that the orphanage was properly run. But not one of them ever stood up to say that children with nowhere to go do not deserve to be exploited. In this world, she is the only one reckless enough to do that for a single child. Zayton brushed a hand over her hair. I never imagined a person like her still existed. All I can do is never forget her kindness and her faith, on my honor as a knight. Then he asked, Your Grace. He looked toward the two children standing opposite. Who are these people? He answered reluctantly. My daughter enjoys making friends. Then thought, I already sent the other children away by magic. Looking outside, he noticed something. But why does this boy keep walking along behind us on foot? The next morning, sunlight in the room woke Ginny. This is my room, so I did pass out. She found a note. Lucas must have left it. It read as follows. The other children have been handed to the servants. Everything is under control. Then Arthur burst in and startled her. Good heavens. Father? Or is this still Lucas? Then he cried out, Ginny, you're safe. She knew at once. It's father. He was frantic. I heard there was a fire at the Marquise's estate. She feigned astonishment. Really? Inside, she thought, his body. Oh no. She went on. The orphanage was boring, so I went to play at Loyan's house. Of course, her family escorted me all the way home safely. He pulled her into his arms. I'm relieved you're safe. Warmth spread through Ginny. How wonderful. One embrace from my father and something glitters inside my chest. That's right. I did everything I could at the orphanage. Now I have to look after the children who survived. Thank you for worrying about me, Father. Arthur hesitated. But who on earth would burn down the founder of House Ben's own estate? Ginny went along with it, uneasy. Really, Father? How cruel. Inside she thought, that would be me. It seemed Arthur had something more to ask. Do you know who those children waiting in the hall are? Ginny looked toward the hall. Ah. Belusi spoke up. My lady. Ginny thought, they waited all night because I was unconscious. They're my friends, Father. I brought them from the orphanage. Inside she fretted. I meant to introduce them when everything was settled. This must be rather abrupt for him. Arthur was skeptical. From an orphanage? Which means you intend to invite these children to live here? She answered. Ginny is so clever it's hard to find anyone to talk with. Everyone in the estate is busy. So it would be wonderful to have these friends beside me. Inside she thought, I brought them here, so they are my responsibility. Because I'm an adult inside a child. Then she blurted it out, and for Ginny's language development and social skills. Arthur blinked. What was that? I thought you simply spoke as things came to you. Where did you learn all this? Well, I am exactly the right age for it. After a long pause, he finally agreed. I'll inform the household. They'll make sure your friends are comfortable. He asked again, Is there anything else you want? Ginny brightened. Father, really? I want even more children to follow me. After that day, Sel officially became my bodyguard. Her son was raised in a nursery under the protection of House Hanya. The orphanage children, once their health returned, went through proper legal adoption under Henzy's supervision. And Belusi suddenly spoke up. My lady. Ginny jumped. What? What is it? She answered. Please give me work. The little girl groaned inwardly. I told you to rest, Belusi. Ginny was firm. How many times must I say it? I did not bring you here to work. Then she thought. Growing up in a place where she constantly had to prove she wasn't useless, sitting still probably terrifies her. But I want her to get used to living like a child. Then Yuheo appeared in a servant's uniform. My lady, what should I do? Ginny sat over afternoon tea, surrounded by maids. One of them spoke. It isn't anything serious, my lady. Don't worry. They may simply be disoriented in a new home. I was the same when I first came here. The other suggested. Why not bring them along and give them small tasks? Once they're used to life here, they'll find what they want to do. Ginny thought it was a good idea, but she also thought, they went through so much at that orphanage. I want them to rest. But if this is what they want, I can't ignore it. And my mana has recovered. Time to prepare for what comes next. From that day on, not one more word appeared in the book. And in the old records of House Ben, this cannot be. I was counting on those records. It turns out Duke Zasorwi, Marquis Bene, and the Emperor were all in it together. Worse, Bene's main supplier of orphans was the Central Temple, the state religion itself. In the original, Bene is the most dangerous man in the orphan trade. If this document is true, where does the story go next? If the Central Temple is involved, this empire is rotten to its very roots. In that case, a second orphanage is only a matter of time. The reason the Crown and the Temple gather magic stones this desperately, by methods this cruel, is that fewer and fewer people are born carrying mana. The number of mages is falling, and they refuse to surrender their comfortable lives. They lean far too heavily on relics made of magic stone. More importantly, the Temple and the Crown watch each other constantly, preparing for civil war, and nearly all their weapons require magic stones. But if they simply never fought in the first place, they would not need magic stones at all. It is horrifying that this country is riddled with people this corrupt. It is hardly surprising that a house as honorable as Hanya met such a cruel end. There is only one road left. House Hanya must become stronger. I will bring down this insane kingdom and the temple with it. I will save House Hanya. She was buried in the documents when a knock came. My lady, it's Lulu. There's something I must tell you about the boy you brought home. Ginny tensed. Yuheo? Has something happened? I was going to set him to needlework. Ginny asked. But, the maid explained, that child is far too strong. He broke every needle and every thread, so there's nothing in the estate he can actually do. Ginny sagged. He doesn't know how much force to use for ordinary tasks. Wait, is that really the problem here? The maid went on. In any case, since he insisted on working, I sent him to the stables. What lay in front of Ginny was a collapsed stable. Seeing Yuheo curled up in a corner, she sighed. Oh dear. He's folded in on himself again. Ginny called. Hey, he answered timidly. My lady? She asked. Did the stable hands scold you? Are you about to cry? He shrank. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a burden to everyone. Ginny answered cheerfully. It's fine, this family has plenty of money. Break as much as you like, I can pay for it. Inside, she thought, thanks to you, I even have a few extra gold bars. Yuheo answered miserably. As I told you before, I can't be of any use to you. Truly. I'm useless, I can't even complete my purpose. Ginny frowned. Your purpose? The purpose he means is being the guardian of A burden they chained around his neck the day he was born. And then a whole field of flowers appeared before Ginny. Heather. She remembered her father's words, I love you more than anyone on this earth. Then she reached out. You don't have to try. Even if you feel worthless and can't quite believe me, I'll say it one more time. I will love you and ask for nothing in return. He started to speak, but then the little girl said it. Heather. He blinked. What? From now on, I'm going to call you Heather. He asked. What does it mean, my lady? She smiled. Nothing at all. Inside, she thought, because all I want is for you to live free as a flower in an open field, bound by no one. Ginny took his hand. Now then, let's go clean up. Heather. As Heather and Belusi settled into life at the estate, I began to worry because the book had given me nothing new. It's suspicious that there's been no word about Zayton. Is he busy training for the coming tournament? Deep in thought, the little girl suddenly noticed something. What is that sound? This house is usually quiet. Ginny was baffled. Lulu, what is going on? She answered. Ah, my lady, this is... Ginny was stunned. What on earth is this? To Ginny of House Hanya, hero of the nation. Then Zayton appeared and made her jump. Zayton. He spoke. It's been a while, Ginny. Do you like this small gift? She gave up. You call all of this a small gift? Then she asked. What are you doing here? He answered. Several days have passed and nobody knows what you did. Ginny panicked. Naturally. I hid every step of it. And who would believe a child like me did any of it? He went on. Then at the very least, I wish to show respect for your kindness. Her mouth fell open. Those are his exact lines from the side chapter. You came all the way to someone else's house just to stage this? I should deal with him quickly and send him off. Ginny took the bouquet. Thank you, Zayton. Next time, send word before you turn up at someone's home. Then Zayton raised a hand to his chest. Ginny blinked. What? What now? Hold on, I've seen this scene somewhere before. Zayton spoke. I like you. Ginny startled. Surely it isn't what I'm thinking. He placed his hand over his heart, formal. I pledge to serve you as my lady. She blurted it out. What? Me? The boy dropped to one knee and swore. I, Zayton de Zasorwe, swear before the grace of the gods and the sun. From this day forward I will live as the knight of Ginny de Hanya. She tried to stop him and was far too late. Wait, this is actually... I will protect you even at the cost of my life. Ginny went numb. This is a knight's oath. Zayton raised his voice and the soldiers echoed him in unison. For Lady Ginny, for Lady Ginny. Ginny still hadn't caught up. This atmosphere is emptying my head. How did it come to this? Zayton looked up. What is your answer? She thought, the answer is obvious, then stammered. What is this, Zayton? Then she shouted, undo that oath immediately. The knight's oath. When a knight finds the lord to whom he will devote his entire life, he swears this oath exactly once in his lifetime. The bond formed by that oath runs deeper than blood, because it is a promise to give everything, life included. In the original, Zayton is the only person who ever swears it. But why to me? Ginny was in a panic. You cannot swear an oath to a child. He doesn't even know what he's doing. Hurry up and undo it. Zayton was surprised. Undo it? You won't accept me as your knight, even when I offer you everything I have. What is the reason? She fumbled. That is, there are dozens of reasons. Am I supposed to list them all here? What could possibly convince him? Then it came to her. That's it. Zayton has an enormous sense of duty as the heir of House Zasorwe, because you are the sole heir, and one day you become Duke Zasorwe. And I belong to House Hanya. This isn't Romeo and Juliet. As she spoke, she thought, swearing a knight's oath to me means committing his entire future as Duke Zasorwe. The boy looked disappointed. Ah, I understand. Ginny exhaled. Now he can't talk about abandoning his house. But Zayton spoke. Are you worried that your ordinary family will be an obstacle to me? The word stopped her cold. What? He went on. But you needn't worry. If you wish it, I am willing. I came here to prepare to move you from an ordinary family into House Zasorwe. Suddenly, Enoch appeared. What kind of nonsense is this? Ginny startled. When did Enoch get here? He went on. I think the thoughts in my head are starting to leak out. I sensed there was an awkward situation here, so I came to see. Why are you trying to take our house treasure, Zayton? Ginny said she will not accept me as her knight. Because she is of House Hanya, and I am of House Zasorwe. There are plenty of people in this house who could serve as her knight. Have you never heard that quality beats quantity, Enoch? Enough arrogance, Zayton. Soon enough we'll see whose skill is greater at the coming tournament. Of course we will. In the middle of the argument, Zayton turned to Ginny. If I become the champion, will you accept me as your knight? She was floored. No. How did this conversation arrive here? Well then, it'll be fine because Inuk is going to win. Then she answered, All right, I don't know anymore. Zayden was satisfied. Good. Then he left. We'll meet again at the tournament. Inuk reassured her. Ginny, don't worry. Your brother will win. She took his hand, cheerful. I'm not worried at all. Zayden is going to be shocked at how much you've improved. The one they called worthless, the one who cried alone with nobody noticing, has changed so much. I'm proud of him. I'm certain Inuk will win. And yet. The arena was loud and packed, the day of the tournament. Lulu and Lolo chattered beside Ginny. The match we've all been waiting for is finally here, my lady. I was so nervous I couldn't sleep a wink. Ginny was amused. Really? Then she thought, a sword tournament always draws attention, doesn't it? Lolo was thrilled. Today is a blood match between the young Duke of House Zasorwe and young Master Inuk. Lulu held an umbrella over her. And you as well, my lady. You are the true centerpiece of this match. Ginny thought. It's only a sword tournament. What blood match? Passersby murmured. Look, that's the young lady of House Hanya. The crowd buzzed. They say House Zasorwe has staked everything on this tournament. If the young Duke loses, they surrender half their knights. And I hear House Hanya has wagered the young lady herself. She'd be sent to House Zasorwe as an adopted daughter. Good heavens, what an enormous bet. Ginny despaired. How do rumors travel that fast? I am not becoming anyone's adopted daughter. Never mind, Inuk will win. Then she saw Zayden standing there. He stood in the sunlight, that face of his shining as always, an easy smile at the corner of his mouth. Once again, I'm reminded that he really is the male lead of this world. Why do I suddenly feel this uneasy? Is there anyone alive who can beat a male lead? Zeta wins. Next match. Ginny was floored. How is that possible? Lolo and Lulu caught her. Careful, my lady. Young Master Inuk is up soon. She thought, this is less a tournament than a Zayden exhibition. How is every single competitor going down that fast? They're nothing at all. Then she understood. I underestimated this badly. While Inuk trained day and night, Zayden grew terrifyingly strong too. If he isn't the male lead, then who is? The referee called out. And now, the next competitors. The match all of us have been waiting for. Ginny was still brooding. But our baby brother is no easy opponent either. The referee announced them. Young Master Inuk of House Hanya and young Master Zayden of House Zasorwe. The stands roared. Young Master Inuk. Young Master Zayden. Ginny covered her ears. The adults are louder about this match than the children. The referee called it. Begin. Zayden spoke. Be careful not to get hurt, Inuk of House Hanya. Inuk gave nothing back. Worry about yourself, Zayden. Then he told himself, I cannot lose. Not to a brat with his eye on my sister. Zayden thought, is this really Inuk of House Hanya? When did he get this strong? I can't afford to be careless. The crowd applauded. The skill on those young men is remarkable. A magnificent match. Inuk thought, damn it, Zayden is as strong as I expected. There isn't a single opening. Then his focus slipped. Oh no. Don't give up, Inuk. The crowd murmured. The young lady is worried for her brother. Even her worried face is charming. Ginny told herself. I went into a forest and caught a bear. I stole swordsmanship secrets out of the original. I even learned and taught him how to handle an aura blade. And he makes a careless mistake at the single most important moment. Is he playing with me? Does he want 500 laps around the training yard? Inuk shouted, Where are you looking, Zayden? The crowd exclaimed. Look at that. The young lady's encouragement worked. Young Master Inuk is pressing hard, and young Master Zayden is barely defending at all. Ginny caught it. No, it isn't that he can't defend. My eyes don't lie. Why is he doing this? He doesn't look injured. But something is wrong. And at this rate. Inuk was astonished. Did I win? The referee announced it over the roar. The match is over. The winner is young Master Inuk of House Hanya. Good heavens, our young master defeated the young Duke of House Zasorwe. Inuk ran to his sister. Ginny, I won. I beat Zayden. She looked at him. He can't even believe it himself. She cheered. Congratulations, Inuk. Ginny always believed you would win. But inside, I'm glad because this is what I wanted. And yet he beat Zayden far more easily than I expected. even after he made that mistake. Enoch was elated. You saw it, didn't you? But she was still thinking. It's as if he won by default. This unsettles me. There has to be a reason Zeton gave up the win. Did something happen to him? I need to check the side chapters. Don't give up, Enoch. Zeton had stopped short when he heard that voice from the child in the stands. Tears had gathered in her earnest eyes as she looked toward her brother. If I beat Enoch like this, that child will be heartbroken. Those violet eyes, gentle as small flowers, he could not bear to see sorrow reflected in them, even if the result cost him everything. The entire estate shook. Things shattered everywhere. Duke Zasorwe hurled a chair across the room. Why him of all people? He roared, beaten by the youngest son of House Hanya. Do you want to humiliate me in front of everyone? Zeton only kept his head down. You scum. Worthless. The boy dropped to his knees. I'm sorry, father. He ground his heel into his son's hand. You should never have done anything you would come to regret. He emptied his rage. If you are this useless, you should never have been born. As useless as your mother. I should have had a son as gifted as Dehao of House Hanya, not this failure. He finally reached the door, still shouting. When we return to Zasorwe, lock this trash in the cellar. Not one drop of water until I say otherwise. Long after he was gone, Zeton had not moved. He stood there, his fists clenched in his shirt, and though his shoulder had been damaged by Enoch's aura, he showed the pain to no one, exactly as he always did. Ginny snapped the book shut in fury. She cursed under her breath, that lunatic Duke Zasorwe. Then she reminded herself, Zeton is the male lead, the one who finds happiness in the end, and I'm only a bit part with a wretched fate. What right do I have to pity him? And yet, thinking of him locked away and beaten at that age, and all of it because of me. At last, Ginny decided. I'm going to see Zeton. Seele called after her. We should go together, my lady. But she had already told herself, I can't know all of this and simply stand here. Under a clear sky, Ginny spotted a carriage on the road. There's one bearing the Zasorwe crest. She ran after it. Thank goodness. I'm not too late. Wait a moment. There's something I want to say. She called, and the carriage never slowed. Ginny burned. It's him. At that moment, Baida shoved Zeton forward, snapping at him. Stop dawdling and move. His grace has already left. He was insufferable. If we arrive at the Duke's estate late, don't expect a meal, let alone water. The boy was furious and swallowed it. But Ginny could not. You bastard. I need to use appropriate language. So she called out politely. Excuse me, sir. Ginny pointed at him, indignant. Why are you bullying him? Zeton was startled and delighted to see her. Ginny. Caught in the act, Baida faltered. What are you talking about, my lady? I am merely escorting the young master back to Zasorwe. Looking at that smug face, Ginny burned hotter. Why does he treat him this way? If he paid the slightest attention, he'd see how much it costs the boy. She stepped forward. I can't let Zeton leave like this. Not until he's recovered. Small as she was, Ginny planted herself in front of him. Zeton will be playing with Ginny at our house from now on. So kindly step aside and go alone, sir. He held his ground. This is not yours to decide, my lady. The young master belongs to House Zasorwe. Mind your own affairs and go home quietly. His face darkened. Otherwise. Baida started threatening. Do you want to start a territorial dispute? Ginny wasn't afraid. Threatening a child with that. She laughed to herself. That is exactly the line I was waiting for from you, common little beta. Then she put on her most innocent face. Shouldn't Ginny be the one saying that? If you keep this up, my father may come and give Duke Zasorwe a proper scolding. You do understand? Baida couldn't keep pace with her shifts. What? What is this nonsense? It was Zeton's first time seeing this side of her. Then Ginny took the boy's hand. She played sweet. Zeton already promised to be Ginny's knight. Then she asked him. He even swore the oath, didn't you? The boy hadn't caught up and only stared, but back then, Ginny had to stamp on his foot to signal him. Catch up, idiot. He fell in immediately. That's right. Yes, I swore a knight's oath to the young lady. Baita lost it. What are you saying? What insanity is this? What were you thinking, swearing an oath to something as common as House Hanya? He demanded. Does his grace know about this? Zeton shook his head. Not yet. He doesn't know. His teeth ground together. You would humiliate House Zasorwe like this? If his grace finds out, it will not end with a few days locked away. Ginny thought, That's dangerous. His eyes have slipped their leash again. Nearby, nobles heard the commotion and started talking. What's happening over there? Are those the Sorwi people? Ginny sees the moment. Perfect. There are witnesses. House de Sorwi has a reputation to protect, so they can't separate Zaitin from me carelessly. She stepped out so everyone could see her. Goodness, the young lady of House Hanya is here as well. How adorable. Ginny nodded to herself. A knight and a lady. A perfectly ordinary arrangement. Then she played it up. I'm so tired. Ginny wants to go home now. Zaitin. He obeyed at once, which left her blinking. Is he afraid of me? The boy spoke firm. Master Baita. There was no fear left on his face. The young lady needs me, so I must be at her side. This time it was Ginny's turn to be shocked. Excuse me. What do you think you're doing? Aren't you injured? But when Zaitin lifted her and turned away, she waved cheerfully, leaving Baita nowhere to put his fury. In any case, escaping is the priority right now. Farewell, sir. Back at the Hanya estate, Ginny started complaining. Hateful old men. She said to Zaitin, now take off your shirt and let me see that shoulder. Inside, she thought, let me show him the field medicine of a retired special operative. The boy asked, how did you know? The question stopped her. When she didn't answer, he asked again, that I was injured. Even Inuk, who fought me directly, never noticed. Ginny hesitated. Because I genuinely want to treat his wound. The boy guessed. You're... She went pale immediately. Does he know I used some kind of power to read the situation? But Zaitin was still a child. So he concluded, an angel, perhaps? Ginny couldn't believe it. What do I do here? It seems his head was injured too. A large bruise had spread across his body, and still Zaitin was trying to look unbothered. Angel or fairy, it doesn't matter. He swallowed the pain and smiled. As long as you are my lady, I don't care. Sitting beside him, she stared. Why does he keep muttering these things loudly enough for me to hear? She opened the medical kit. It seems I've caused a misunderstanding, which means I need to clear it up. She looked at the bruise, then at his unbothered face. Listen, I am not going to be your lady. He turned sharply, eyes wide. What do you mean? Earlier you clearly... Her face was serious, her hands unrolling the bandage. That was a lie to get you back here. She sighed and poured medicine onto the gauze. Even if he did become my knight, what would he do once he meets Inet again? And what about that greedy, cruel father of his? He would do anything to keep his son away from House Hanya. It's a dangerous road. Zaitin didn't look at her, but his eyes softened. I see. So even an angel like you tells lies just to heal me. Then he turned back, his gaze full of something. Even so, Inuk shoved the door open. Hey! She glanced over. Inuk. That was a quick bath. His face darkened. Why are you only treating Zaitin? He braced a hand and sank down. Inuk wiped his eyes. I'm hurt too. Besides, I'm the one who won. She startled. What? Where does it hurt? Did you sprain something when you fell? Inuk put on a pitiful face. That isn't it. When I saw you sitting with Zaitin, it felt like dust flew into my eyes. Ginny gave up. Is he serious? Sennet walked in. Pull yourself together, Inuk. What on earth are you saying? Then he clenched his fists. Ginny. She was astonished. Sennet too? What is this? He spoke gently, blood still seeping from his forehead. I was injured in training as well. Ginny was lost. I'm fairly sure I only saw him walk into a door. She held her head. If I treat you. Inuk knelt, his face imploring. I got here first, Ginny. Ginny screamed internally. Have they all lost their minds? And they're still beautiful about it. Ginny looked at the two of them, exhausted. Raising these boys is genuinely hard work. Then Arthur's voice came, with Hensi bowing respectfully beside him. I see you're all gathered. I could hear you down the entire corridor. Ginny brightened. Father? Hello, Hensi? She ran over, arms out for a hug. Do you have to go to the palace again today? He gathered her in. I do. Then he looked at her fondly. Time to hand these boys over to their father. Ginny noticed something different about him. That expression on Father's face. She grew concerned. What is it, Father? Are you hurt somewhere? He frowned. As a matter of fact, I am injured too. Ginny hugged him. So you heard everything? What happened? He held up an index finger. I cut my finger on some paper. She went instantly deadpan. I see. My poor father must be in terrible pain. Henzi clutched his head beside them. I'm in pain too. My blood sugar dropped rather suddenly, my lady. Ginny sagged. Even Henzi, the one man I always trusted. Then she understood. Come to think of it, this is my punishment for everything I did before I recovered my memories. She jumped to her feet. Everyone get well soon. Then Ginny balled her fist, her face set. Listen well. Men of House Hanya, it's time to draw some boundaries. She said it clearly. Ginny's clinic is now officially closed. One hand on her hip, the other raised in a fist. Therefore, no more healing, and no more getting injured. Then she folded her arms, decisive. Is that understood? She fixed her eyes on one of them. Especially you, Senate. Do that again, and I'll revoke your status as my brother. Senate hung his head. I was wrong. Enoch was still on his knees, the picture of misery. You only care about Zeton. Henzi caught Arthur with both hands. Please calm yourself, my lord. Arthur pressed a hand to his forehead and buckled at the knees. Who taught her to talk like that? She'll be the death of me. Ginny threw up both hands, helpless. I'm being serious, father. Zeton watched it all and broke into a sweat. Is the Hanya family always like this? I knew about Enoch, but I've never seen the Duke or Senate like this. Ginny rubbed the bandage on her hand and smiled. In any case, I really am fortunate. That night at the Hanya estate, dinner is ready, my lady. Lolo bent down and took her hand. The young Duke of House Zasorwi is here as well, so please don't stuff 2 rolls into your mouth at once tonight. Ginny agreed. I won't. She reached the door and stopped short. Why is everyone sitting so far apart? Zeton gestured at the chair beside him. My lady, sit here. Enoch stood and patted the table. Ginny, next to me, right here. She understood the situation. I see. Ginny walked briskly. In a situation like this, my choices. She hopped up onto an entirely different chair. I'll sit here. Then she turned to the person beside her, cheerful. Hello. She smiled brightly. Senate. He looked mildly surprised. Good evening, Ginny. Senate clenched a fist and raised it to his mouth, holding back a laugh. Ginny shot him a look. This is not the time for jokes. Across the table, Enoch glared at Zeton. It's your fault Ginny isn't sitting with me. Zeton folded his arms, just as stubborn. It's yours. Stop following her around. Ginny enjoyed the scene, but questions were forming in her mind. Enoch has sharpened his swordsmanship to the level of the male lead. He even won the tournament. So from now on, the master who trained the male lead in the original will be training him, which makes Senate my next target. What training method do I use for him? Her eyes went distant. Moreover, Senate carries an extremely powerful aura, stronger even than Zeton's, but he has never drawn out what he actually has. In the original, he doesn't even show up when he should. Then she smiled. But waking up hidden potential is my specialty, isn't it? She cheerfully handed Senate a bread roll. Eat plenty and stay strong. He flushed slightly and took it. All right, thank you. In Ginny's bedroom, moonlight spilled across one corner. Training starts tomorrow. That was the plan I made. But the very next day, disaster fell on House Hanya. The peaceful scene cracked, entirely without warning. When the carriage returned, the servants were already lined up, waiting. Ginny ran out to meet Arthur. She called, Father. He turned, Ginny. She thought, looking at him like this. Ginny asked at once, Do you have to go to the palace again? He was regretful. I'm sorry I have no time for you children. I couldn't even watch Enoch's match yesterday. She cursed silently. That emperor. Isn't he simply using me as an excuse to torment my father? Then Arthur remembered something, by the way. He looked at the children standing in the grounds. I always thought you preferred to play alone. But it seems you have companions these days. The children looked at her, eyes shining. Our young lady is so lovely today. She answered. Yes, father. They're my friends. She grew uneasy. Bringing Zeton along too must have been a headache. Then she apologized quickly. I'm sorry, father. I brought friends home without asking the head of the family. But that was not what troubled him. No, this is your home as well. That isn't a problem. It's only... She blinked. It seems father is hesitating over something. Ginny guessed. It might be. The thing I did with Lucas. At that moment, someone came to fetch him. Forgive me, my lord. If we don't leave soon, you'll be late, he answered. Understood. He turned to her. I'm going now, Ginny. But she caught his sleeve. Wait a moment. Arthur crouched down, and Ginny declared it, resolute. I'm very strong. Strong enough to bring down a building with a single blow. He didn't follow. Where is this coming from? Inuk said the same thing. She patted her own small arm. So there's no need to worry about me. I hate seeing that worried look on Father's face. But he refused flatly. That is impossible. It doesn't matter how strong you are, or how grown up. He reached out. Arthur stroked his daughter's hair. Because you will always be the daughter I love. He pulled her into his arms, and I will be the one who protects you. Ginny's face went red. She thought about her past life. In my past life, there was nobody to protect me. He held her and said quietly, So stop throwing yourself into danger. She objected softly. That one I can't promise. Then Arthur said goodbye. I have to go. He walked toward the carriage. Before leaving, he made a promise. When I come back, we'll go and see the flowers together. Ginny was delighted. Yes, Father, I'll be waiting. Watching the carriage grow small, the little girl called after it. Travel safely, Father. By the time he arrived, evening had come. Violet light lay over the whole palace. In the corridor, Hensi walked beside him. You finished late again today, my lord. Seeing him rub his forehead, Hensi said quietly. You look exhausted. Arthur spoke. I'd like to walk alone and clear my head. He stepped back. Understood. I'll wait for you at the main gate. The vast palace did not have a single guard in sight. He walked on thinking, Isn't the Crown Prince's abandoned palace in this direction? Climbing the stairs, he grew pensive. Not a trace of its old beauty is left. This abandoned palace is the last place anyone saw Lucas Ulin. Lucas Ulin, the former Crown Prince, vanished the night before his coronation. And from that day, this palace became the royal family's disgrace. They could not even protect their own heir. He stopped before a door, hand raised to open it. However little His Majesty thought of Prince Lucas's residence, I never imagined it neglected to this degree. He pushed the door open. Perhaps I'll find the reason his soul ended up inside my body. Even one reason would help. High above hung a portrait draped in white cloth. Arthur could not understand it. Why my body and nobody else's? Lucas Ulin never once bore any hostility toward House Hanya, servants of Emperor Zio. He kept climbing. Until now, Lucas Ulin, even while occupying my body, has been remarkably composed. I vaguely sense he has struck some kind of agreement to protect Ginny, but I cannot fully trust him. Lucas Ulin was a genius who made his name as a great mage, the man who defeated Zio and took the throne. His hunger for power was enormous. He is a formidable man. Then Arthur thought of his lively little daughter. However lovely and clever and sharp our Ginny is, she is still a child who needs protecting. He set his resolve. What if Lucas Ulin changes his mind? He could turn this very body against Ginny and the boys, so I must find a solution as quickly as possible. He reached another door and pushed it open. Forgive the intrusion, Your Highness. It seems nobody watches over this wing. The room inside was a wreck. The moment Arthur stepped in, a line of red magic swept past. He was stunned, a magic circle. He dropped into a stance at once. His hand tore the sword from its sheath. Arthur scanned every corner on guard. Then the magic came crashing in. With no time to react, all he could do was brace. I have to come back. Ginny is waiting for me. He called his daughter's name in his heart. Ginny. And at that moment, Ginny was at home, watching a sky already gone dark. Father is late again. She was still waiting for him. I don't care about seeing the flowers, but he'll be home soon, won't he? The thought made her happy. I'm so happy. It's been so long since I had time with my father.